Welcome back to 1010's podcast. My name is Michael with Adam and Mr. Robert, and we are back in the Kanga Motorsports studio this week.
Hooray!
Woo! After a very nice out of the studio podcast last week. I thought it was good.
On location.
On location. There we go.
On location.
That was the term I was looking for. That was a good podcast.
It was fun.
That was awesome.
I enjoyed it.
I
think we made some new friends.
I think so too.
People we'll do stuff with.
Yeah.
I want to go on poker runs. I just odd interest in poker runs now.
Well, it's the rally thing that we have talked about doing but never done because rally sounds kind of boring.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's way less structured, but you still get to, it's like what's that called? Cruise to the Woods?
Cruise to the Woods.
Cruise to the Woods, but with kind of
But there's a purpose.
And kind of a plan.
Right.
And it's not a car show at the end. It's kind of a car show all the time. It's a moving car show.
For like you and 10 of your buddies.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? It's people like to cruise around, which I've never quite understood.
Well, so I never really understood like looping the block.
Scooping the loop?
Scooping the loop? Scooping the loop. I mean...
I totally did that like all the time.
I know.
Well,
don't get me wrong, Robbie. A lot of my high school nights were wasted scooping the loop. That doesn't mean I ever understood it. I thought it was dumb.
And that's high school.
That's where all the
what
hot
else
girls
are you
were.
doing?
That's where my girlfriend wanted to be,
exactly.
so guess where I was. Doesn't mean I got it.
When you're 17, what else are you doing? You can't drink. You can't do drugs.
Right.
So what are you supposed? I mean, in all seriousness,
I'm with
when you're in high school, what do you do?
But
Skateboard.
Skateboard.
Well, there was that. Yeah. Oh, it's dark. It's time to go home and go to bed. So I can get up and butt crack at dawn and go to the next.
You've had your driver's license for 6 months. You go drive around with your friends. That's what you do.
Well, so most of the time we parked it. So we just went downtown and then we parked.
Subwoofers in the parking lot.
Fuck yeah, man.
Boy. That's what they were doing when
we were on the
loop
roost
that one time.
God damn, Robbie.
On the roost?
Do you remember I know you scooped the loop in Sheldon.
Pretty rare.
I know you've been down there. I remember you being there.
I've slummed it, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, whoa.
If that's what you're asking, yes, I've slummed
that
it.
hurts me deep, Robbie. You know what the roost was.
No, I don't
It
actually.
was behind the Prairie Queen Bakery. It was like that parking lot that was slightly elevated above the street. We ramped a Cavalier off the entrance once. I'm pretty sure I was 4 feet in the air in a Cavalier with a cinder block in the back seat. Bad choice.
I believe
Damn, it was fun.
No, I never made it back there. I made it behind some sketchy buildings, but not that one.
Robbie thinks that everything in Sheldon is sketchy, so you can't take.
You were behind a building. You were next to a building. You were in Sheldon, is what you're saying.
It's a really nice place to buy drugs.
No, Robbie.
That's their
the
slogan.
is it's a really nice place. Is there
to buy drugs?
To buy drugs.
Slogan.
Yeah, okay.
It's where two highways meet. It's whatever.
It's what okay, fair enough.
See, it's funny because I always thought you bought drugs in Sanborn, so.
We're shitting on all of those.
Well, that's how this works, Like you live in this town, and so everybody
those
in your
fuckers,
town thinks that town's the shithole, but everybody in that town thinks that where you live is the shithole.
That's
small town Iowa.
Those shitty people in Dickinson County?
Oh God, Kossuth County. Don't even get me started.
Kossuth.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Northwest Iowa counties, man.
That's more like North Central, but it's fine.
Robbie's computer exploded. Sorry for
Oh,
watching
no.
the YouTube video.
Nothing good's ever happened in Kossuth County.
Fair enough. So anyway, good podcast last week. We appreciate the guys at Need and the organization for doing that with us. I talked to James from Kanga Motorsports.
Yes.
Because we talked about the Nissan NASA teaming up thing. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Vaguely, very vaguely. We talked about it briefly because we were talking about autonomous cars. This was 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. No, it was last week. I mentioned it very briefly that Nissan was one of the companies that was testing autonomous vehicles because we were talking about the call center things.
Oh, yeah.
The remotely monitored autonomous vehicles.
That was last week. Anyway, James said that because he's a real scientist and not the fake scientist that we are.
He's actually a rocket scientist.
He's actually a rocket scientist, and he works at NASA.
Yeah.
He said that apparently they have the Leafs there, and they're testing them there.
Nice.
And so I don't understand the context of this comment exactly, but he did say, quote, people kept stepping out in front of him to, screw with the cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To see if they would stop.
Did they stop?
Apparently so. Nobody's dead.
Well, they didn't report it. We could have them on the show to talk about the people that died.
If you're a rocket scientist, you can't report that a fellow rocket scientist was killed by an autonomous car because then you'll look like a bunch of morons. And society holds you at like a higher level.
Wait, are you telling me there's a conspiracy theory that NASA scientists are being killed by Nissan Leafs and it's being covered up
by the
to propagate autonomous vehicles?
You heard it here first.
I was just clarifying. It's not what I'm saying. It's just allegedly that's what you said. Anyway.
It is what it is.
I didn't sound like they were like jumping in front of cars, but they were kind of like edging the road.
Yeah, throwing skateboards in front of them.
To see if they would,
hold your purse or your backpack out in front of it.
You hold your purse out in front of it.
Yeah, I'll hold my purse out in front of it.
But
a man purse.
To be honest, I'm not brave enough to do that. I mean, I suppose it could be learned behavior if you did it, but like,
be fine.
What happens if you walk out in front of a not autonomous Leaf because you just get used to walking out in front of Leaf?
You weren't paying attention, and that one turned out to not be autonomous.
That one's just somebody driving around. Yeah, because it is California. It is possible that somebody just
maybe
has a
we
Leaf.
need to make a rule that if you're in an autonomous vehicle, you can't sit in what should be the driver's position.
Or you should have like
these
flashing lights or something.
These may not have had people in them. I don't know. I didn't ask that question.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
make it obvious.
Yeah, make it obvious.
Flashing lights.
It's autonomous written on the hood.
Maybe they do have flashing lights on them. Maybe that's why people were walking in front of them.
I don't know.
They're rocket scientists. They'll figure it out.
Probably.
Sorry, I just was like, "Hey, someone talking funny." Like, no, I'm a scientist. We do that here. I just work in construction. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that was my pre-opener. Adam, would you like to do your opener?
Sure.
Presented by Factor Fabrication, Mr. Booney.
So I struggled with myself this week because, as some of you may know, I usually put together most of the news, and I kind of wanted to talk about the GMC tailgate, but I decided against it and set the news, which we set by Sunday. And then as the week has gone on, it's now being Wednesday, it's festered and gotten worse and worse, and I've gotten to the point where I can't not say something.
Are you telling me that this idea that they've come up with and designed and put into production and are planning to put into production has slowly started to eat away at your mental well-being,
at what
your emotional stability
sanity I have left when it comes to automotive design?
Right. It's keeping you up at night, and it's making you question why and why you even go to work every day.
Yeah.
And who are these people?
So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that GMC is targeting this
for you, Michael.
I think at me. I think it's actually at me.
At us. Because they claim... Okay, so let's explain the tailgate for those who haven't seen it. So what they... Basically, if you take a standard tailgate and you come in like, let's say...
5 inches.
Yeah, 5 to 8 inches on both sides.
From the edges.
From the edges. And then...
Cut it in half.
Yeah, roughly half. That section, the middle section there... folds down.
It's like a mini-me tailgate in the tailgate.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And so then also there's a flap on the back side of that folding section that can flip up. So if the tailgate is the whole tailgate is down and you flip the half tailgate down and then the flap on the back of the half tailgate out, it becomes a step.
Or
you can leave the half tailgate up, fold the whole tailgate down, flip the flap up, and then they claim it will help you hold things in the bed. Now, I have a lot of issues with this, first of all.
Or
there's so many
when you get the step out,
Robbie.
when you get the step out, there's a handle that
there's
pops
a
out
handle.
out of the left side of the...
So Ford's been doing that for a while. There's in the middle of the top of the tailgate, you flip it down, you grab the top of the tailgate, you pull out, and a step comes out and folds down. It's just 2 bars and a step.
Yeah,
right?
like on a boat.
Yes, very similar too. And then there is a handle that you could flip up and it would latch in place. And you could grab the handle, put your foot on the step, walk right into the back of the truck. 100% okay with that.
Yeah, I'm good
because
with that.
it was pretty simple. But as a young lad, I thought it was dumb. But as I've
now you're 30.
Older,
now that you're 30.
Yeah.
28 and like, damn it.
Oh,
yeah.
Joints hurt. My back
exactly.
This sucks.
All those years of my parents telling me I was going to regret rollerblading. And I was like, whatever, I'm invincible.
Turns out, literally, when you're 14 years old and you leap out of the back of a pickup truck.
Yeah, no.
And it's
like
fine.
I specifically remember working at a dealership in high school. And when I would wash out the back of our truck beds, I would fold the tailgate down and then jump from a standing position into the back of the truck.
Yeah, exactly.
And a sales guy saw me do it, like a 40-something sales guy. I was like, I want to try that. And
Oh, yeah.
he did. Bang!
Right in
on
the
the
face.
ground.
Nice.
just biffed it. But so, 16-year-old me thought it was dumb, but 30-year-old me, I'm okay with the step idea.
Well, even
all
the
good.
Denali's got the step in the bumper.
And I think a lot of
that's pretty standard now.
And that's nice, but the
I'm
Ford one
good
was a
with that.
little bit better.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
So, but it wasn't wildly complicated. They didn't try to pass it off as having 30 different uses. It was just a step. And I was perfectly okay with that. If you didn't want to use it,
Could make your life slightly
If you
easier.
want to use it, do.
Great.
Fine with that. I don't think it was excessively expensive because it was simple.
Yes.
I'm all about. Crank down windows, baby.
God.
So, anyway, GMC had to come up with something to,
They needed an option that had. They needed an expensive option. Is what I'm saying.
Well, so
they
that's
had all
the
those
thing.
other options.
You say
They needed-
expensive option, but one of the news articles I had read about it in the last few days specifically stated that GMC had said, a representative of GMC had told the person who was writing this, can't remember where or who, that at the time of its development, they were trying to decide whether they were going to put it on their stripper model work truck or on their top tier Denali package. And I feel like those are two things that should never be crossed
Opposite
together.
ends of the spectrum.
So do we put this on our $30,000 truck with crank windows and rubber floor mats, or do we put this on our $80,000 truck with a 10.5-inch touchscreen? Really?
I'm with you. I think the whole thing's dumb, but
Right, yeah.
The
So-
whole thing. It's
So
it's
who's
stupid.
going to use it?
So what they claim is when the tailgate is up and the mini tailgate is down, you can use it as a shelf. Now, I have a handful of issues with that.
You put your stereo on.
First of all, being that I'm
like your DeWalt.
Your DeWalt 18-volt stereo?
Yeah, you
I'm
set
like
it there.
5'5", 5'6" which I think is on the short side of average. I'm not like super short, but I think I might be a little shorter than the population average,
Maybe
at least in Iowa.
I would say it's maybe an inch or two, maybe.
Yeah, like
not
5'6",
dramatic.
5'7" is probably the average, maybe 5'8".
We'll go with that.
But I feel like that's probably too tall for me to use as a shelf for my laptop or my iPad. Yeah, I'm going to be up here typing with my hands by my eyeballs, just like standing on my tiptoes to look at my
those,
keyboard.
yeah, those Denali's aren't low trucks.
That's the thing. What am I going to do? Lower my truck 3 inches?
no, you lift it 6. Everybody knows that.
You don't need to lift them. Trust me, they're too
I got
damn
to put
high.
35s under that bitch, right?
Yeah.
That's the general contractor way.
Yes, it
You
is.
buy a $70,000 truck, and then you immediately put $15,000 worth of bullshit accessories on it, and then you give some poor homeowner a wild estimate for something they could never afford, and they look at your truck and go, well, why the hell should I pay you that kind of money?
They get away with it, though.
Anyway, that's a whole different
That's
story.
a rant for a different podcast.
But so I don't think it works as a shelf. The other thing they claim when the tailgate is in the up position and the mini tailgate is in the down position is that you can use it as a more secure way of holding things like pipes or 2x that stick out of the end of the truck. Now, I think that's mildly justifiable, but also
is it any more secure?
so they make these things. They're called ratchet straps.
Yeah,
they have hooks on both ends and like a rope sort of strappy thing.
Yeah.
And you can pull it tight and then ratchet
Ratchet it.
just click, 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 and it tightens things down and holds them in place.
Huh. It's a novel idea.
I used 3 of them today. They're great.
I use them to hold my race car down.
It's not necessary.
I mean,
My favorite thing, though, is I won't say the video because we talked about this before, but he's showing you how to use it, and he like flips it down. And he's like, you could put like, and you had this moment where he's like, what do construction people do?
I'm a paid actor who's never worked a day in my life.
They have, what do they have? They have hammers. No, hammers aren't that long. Pipe. They use pipe. They put pipe in here.
What?
A pipe and
You can see him like
2x4s
flipping
and
through the
shit.
things. It's like, nope, nope, nope.
He's like,
yes,
this was in the script. This was in the script. Fuck.
So now that we're touching on this guy,
What?
Phrasing.
being the fashionista that I
he
am,
had quite the suit on. Yeah,
was it though? It looked kind of terrible.
it was terrible.
His shoes did not match his
It was straight out of GQ.
They were.
He
They
saw
were a
an ad
ridiculous-
for a GQ magazine 3 years ago, and that's the suit that he saw
a bad
that he
deal,
remembered.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he knows a lot about trucks.
Yeah,
This is the general
he's a paid
issue
actor.
with this deal.
know.
You could tell he had read that script a handful of times, and he was ready to deliver his speech. So, let's see what other stupid. Oh, my favorite function that makes zero fucking sense. Fold all of the tailgate down, leaving mini tailgate in the up position.
Closed.
Or the closed position, but folding the whole tailgate down so it's just a regular tailgate, but then flipping up step so that it will secure things in the back of the truck that wouldn't
You
normally.
mean like those cage things that they put
no,
behind dirt
because
bikes?
it's just the step, which is not the whole length of the tailgate.
It's like it flips like this.
So it
Robbie.
flips
so
up.
like 3 inches up, half like.
Let's say 6 for benefit of the doubt.
All right, 6 inches
So
tall.
my
for
issue,
the length of it.
No, it's not the full
just the
length.
mini, just the mini.
Just the length of the
So you have like
middle
six,
So think-
tailgate.
think
6
about
inches
it.
on either end, plus the open.
Yeah.
spots
So think about
from
it this
front to
way. I know
back.
it's hard to.
Visualize.
People are listening, but so the mini tailgate, we discussed the dimensions of that. Just imagine that had like a plastic flap
Yeah,
that was
like
the
a-
same dimension of that hinged up 90 degrees.
like a little shitty wing.
So let's
Yeah.
pretend for a second that this is a 6-foot bed because I don't know if it's a 6 or an 8,
Sure.
but we're going to
We'll say
assume
6.
it's a 6. That tailgate flip down now makes it from the back of the tailgate to the front of the bed 8 foot, maybe.
Sure.
Maybe.
So if you flip that little step thingy up, you have to have something that is that exact length, or it's not helping
and
at
not
all.
super tall.
Or it's not helping at all. So
I'd be interested to
so
know-
you gotta go to Lowe's and you gotta be like, well, so I wanna buy some 2x from you guys, but I need them to be cut all to 7 foot 10 inches long.
That's weird.
It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense.
All I
But why?
all I can picture right now is leaning up against it while I'm tailgating, eating a hot dog or a burger. Or
So-
something. like,
Be a great place to put a hot
set my
dog.
beer here,
Yeah,
my
there you
hot
go.
dogs. Yeah.
So a real, and this is just a Google search. Don't hold
Don't
me
shoot
to this,
me.
but yeah. So it just says short beds are approximately 5'8".
Yep.
Standard bed, which would be what's on trucks now, because I don't think you can really get a short bed anymore.
Yeah,
we
I
talked
think,
about
I think
that a
there's
while
just
ago.
2 bed sizes these
Yeah.
days.
Is
Your standard
6'5".
Okay.
Okay.
Long bed's 8, obviously.
Right. So if you have a 6'5" long bed
Yeah.
and you fold the tailgate down, let's say that adds another 24 inches. Somewhere in that region,
Maybe. Sure.
right?
Yes, sure.
So
Yeah.
you'd have to have whatever
8'5" is
your
what you got to
piece
work
of
with.
PVC, your 2x, whatever. You'd have to have it that exact length in order for that little step flip up thing.
Well, then you still have to ratchet it down to
and
hold
then
it,
you would still.
which
Yep.
So
defeats the
why?
whole purpose.
The only thing it might do, I'll be devil's advocate.
That's
the only
fine.
thing it might do is you might be able to put a piece of 4x8 in there now. But you'd still have to ratchet it down.
Like a
Yeah.
piece of plywood,
Yeah.
a full sheet,
a full sheet of plywood.
right? So then the other feature that they claim this makes easier, and he shows this in the video that we talked about with Mr. GQ. He picks up a cooler, like a
Okay, I love
tailgating
this
cooler.
part.
Heck
It's
yeah.
my favorite
Right,
part.
so the tailgates,
This is literally my favorite part.
the tailgate's folded down.
All the way down.
All the way down. Mini tailgate is dropped down as
you can
well.
step on it.
So
No.
but he doesn't have the step flipped out.
So, Robbie, you're
So
looking
there's
at
like
now
a
it's like
U shape.
Now it's like a countertop for his bar.
No, there's
Yes.
like a U shape.
Yes.
It's like a bar top.
it's like a bar top shape.
Well, there's just a U shape for the tailgate,
Yes,
right? In
yes.
the tailgate. And he picks up said tailgating cooler and he goes, "Look how easy it is to put in the bed." And he stands in that little divot that is made by the mini tailgate being flipped down. And he puts the cooler in which is something that I, being short me, have never realized was an issue.
Apparently, that's a big issue.
Well, you know what you do when you put stuff in a truck bed? Is you set it on the tailgate.
Right on the edge.
On the edge, and everything's lined, and then you slide that shit in the bed.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you do. If you're not...
Or you just throw it in there. Who cares?
Yeah, thunk. It's in there now.
Just give it a little heave as you slide it in there, and it'll slide.
okay,
If you're
so-
putting it in the back of your truck, it's not that important that you're worried about damaging it.
And even if you are, that like
Oomph.
10 inches of extra reach
Maybe,
I've
yeah.
gained isn't really changing the game here.
This seems silly.
The whole thing is
More could have been accomplished by making that truck 3 inches lower. Like
Probably.
it should be.
and it would have been cheaper. The whole thing is a marketing exercise. The whole thing, 'cause
Right.
they literally went, "What do people do with trucks?"
Well, so
They buy boards and
no, so
wire.
So here's my conspiracy theory for this. So this is being debuted on the Carbon fiber,
The
composite, whatever you want to call it, bed that they are debuting with this, which I learned on our group this week, apparently is not the first time that GM has made a composite bed before. They made what was called a ProTech bed, and they sold like 10 of them.
Perfect.
They thought they were going to sell, if I remember right, the numbers were they were going to sell 10,000 of them a year, and they sold like 1,000 of them in 2 years or something like that. And GM, and I think this is actually probably the truth, GM said it's not that people don't buy it, it's that dealerships don't buy it for people, which I think is a huge percentage of why a lot of cars don't sell. Because very few people walk into a dealership and order a vehicle. They walk into a dealership and they buy from what is there.
Yeah.
If a dealership doesn't order an option, then GM doesn't sell that option. That's just how it works. So I can see that. Anyway, I think that they kind of said, hey, we're going to build this carbon fiber bed. The reason we're building carbon fiber bed, even though we can't ever admit this, is because we sure as hell can't build an aluminum bed and we got to save face somehow. So let's just make it out of carbon fiber. Oh, turns out everybody thinks that's really stupid too. What can we do to cover that?
We can make part
hey,
of it.
when we make that bed, let's give them this ridiculous tailgate that people are going to get mad about instead, and everyone will forget that the rest of the bed's made out of carbon fiber.
And the sides of it are still steel.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. The part that rusts out.
Yep.
And they all do. Actually, on my way to work this morning, I drove by a Ram, and it wasn't that old, probably within the last 10 years, that was rusty. And I started thinking that they know that the rust is a problem.
And don't care.
They don't care.
Right.
Because you buy a $60,000 truck, and they know that the lifespan of that truck is 12 years.
It's outside of their warranty period. It doesn't matter anymore. That steel will easily last their warranty period no matter how bad you treat it for
so they
rust.
they don't care. They know that you're going to come back and buy another truck anyway, so, and they don't seem to care that it, in my mind, I think it tarnishes their image to some extent, but they don't seem to care.
No. I don't
GM
think I don't think it tarnishes their image in the as an automotive manufacturer in general. No matter what vehicle you're producing, it could be any of them. I don't think that making cars that don't last 20 years tarnishes your reputation to 99% of the people who are buying your cars new. It only tarnishes those image to the people who are buying it secondhand, third hand, fourth hand.
That's probably true.
And so then I don't care about those people because
They're not buying
I'm not making money off them anyway. The less of those people, the better off I am to begin with. Those people.
Those people. Poor people is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Those
Me,
damn
basically.
poor people.
Me.
I'm excited for when they have these stupid commercials with the real people, and they show them the stupid tailgate, and they're like, oh!
No,
And then
I'm excited for
Mock
Mock.
can come out.
Oh, that's a great idea. I can just see myself in a dealership, like, and then this has this feature. I'm like, yeah, that
I don't need that.
doesn't make a damn bit of difference.
How much is that option again? Can we not check that box,
Yeah,
please?
I think my main issue with this tailgate is that all the releases are electric.
Buttons.
All buttons.
I hate that.
That's what bothers me about
And
it.
that's not just this tailgate. That's
No, it's
something
everything.
that
Is
truck.
it?
Yeah, that's a truck thing
Son
now.
of a bitch.
No, it's a everything thing now. Every
Well,
car is
yeah,
that way.
yeah. Door handles, trunk releases,
Locks,
the whole 9
unlocks.
yards.
Yep.
Don't need it. It's not necessary.
Until my battery dies because it's negative 35 below zero out here.
And then you got to remember where the extra secret lock hole is.
Right.
Buried under the car.
or the button, or the cushion thing that you put between the doors so you can prop it open.
Break
Yeah,
into
because
your
that's
car.
what I want to do to my
I
$80,000
know.
truck.
I know. I had to do it to the edge, like the first week I had it, because I didn't have the stupid code and the key was in it and it was running.
Whoops.
In the garage?
Yep, in the
That
garage.
boy. Oh, I do remember this actually.
Changed the oil, left the key in the center console, went to check to make sure,
yeah.
double check my work, make sure everything's tight, nothing's leaking, and all of a sudden I heard it lock.
No. Fuck.
That was when I had to call AAA, wait 30 minutes, unlocked it in 3 minutes.
House is filling full of carbon monoxide because that's where the
Sucking all the, yep.
furnace was.
Yep.
And by the time AAA showed up, or the guy from AAA showed up, I had ordered one of those pillow things to open the prop the door open on its own from now on. So I always have one of those. Hope to never use it.
I was disturbingly good at breaking into my Cavalier.
Hey, if you do
Like,
it,
I'm
if you
pretty
do it a
sure-
bunch of times,
Pretty sure I could break into that car almost as quickly as I could unlock it with a key.
Is that because you kept running it dead with the stereo equipment?
No, I would always leave the key in the car and then lock the door.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think I've ever had a spare key for anything I've ever owned.
Really?
No, because
none of your cars have spare keys. The problem is now.
I think the Focus has a spare key, but that
it's gone
car's
now.
dead to me. So,
Say that the 240 had one. It was a Walmart key, so I went to Walmart and made like 4 more. So I have like 5 spares somewhere
I
around
need
the
to
shop.
do that too.
I have a spare key on the Omni. For the Omni, it's on the key ring. So if I lock that key in the car, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anyway. You might as well just have one key.
It does work though. I never use it because I have the original Chrysler one. It's got the Pentastar thing on it, and so that's the only one that's I ever put in the ignition.
Old school,
of course.
baby.
I checked to see if the spare one worked. Went, yep, okay, never gonna use it again.
I'm gonna leave it on that ring though.
Well, because if I take it off, I'll just lose it. What's
What's the point? Yeah.
That way, when the original one breaks because it's 35 years old, at least I have a backup plan.
There you go.
Anyway, is that it for your opener?
Nobody needs. I don't need to lock the Omni. No one's gonna steal that thing. There's a whole checklist
To get
That
started.
is the best part about the 240.
NASA can put space shuttles into space with less steps than it takes to fire the Omni and drive it away.
Even if they do get fuel to the carburetor, they're not going to be able to
Flood
get it started. Yeah,
No, they'll
exactly.
kill it.
Yeah, it's fine.
And it's a manual, which is apparently a massive
No one
theft
steals
Theft deterrent
these
Can't
days
anyway.
steal that
anyway.
anymore.
Plus, who's going to steal a 1984 Dodge Omni?
Why do the wheels stick out this
Except
far?
one of
What
my
the hell is
friends
going
who's
on?
going to bring it back to me anyway. So it's
Yeah.
whatever.
I think that's it, right?
That's all I got.
Don't forget, check out Factor Fabrication, factorfabrication.com, and of course on Instagram. They build rad stuff. Booney and his boys over there are fantastic fabricators. They've got stuff for your home, furniture. They can do custom work, any type of fabrication, metal, wood, all the above.
I'm excited to see his race car for the year.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's
Him and I have
gotten a
been
little
doing-
buck wild.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of trash talk.
He's
on
been
the
talking some
SEC.
mad shit on DMVR, which I
been
feel
fun.
like
It's been
I
fun.
feel like that infuses some, it lights a little fire in there.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that everyone realizes that we're just screwing with each other. Because
it's you, Randy, who is he's still president.
Sure.
he's high up there.
He's high up there.
Yeah.
And then Booney.
And then Michael
And Chaz.
and Chaz. We're just sitting there shit talking to each other. Like, I'm sure there's at least 1 or 2
There's
people
some
looking
old
at,
people going,
like,
"What the hell is there a problem?"
This used to be fun.
He just called that kid a nerd.
I'm coming for you.
Phrasing.
Yeah, I've been saying it all week. It's whatever.
I think that's it. Should we move on to the next thing?
I'm so excited for
feel
this.
like we're
I haven't
trucking
been this
along.
excited about a topic in a while.
So the best part about doing a podcast for longer than a year, which we've been doing it much longer than a year, is you get to recycle topics annually, which is fantastic. Works
It's
great.
fine. I'm excited about it nonetheless.
He's excited about it.
So-
I'm excited.
These guys are
I'm gonna
excited
win.
about it, and it's
You're
not
not
that the
gonna-
topic.
Robbie.
He might win. It's not
I
that the
don't think
topic
so.
isn't.
There's a swap kit and a turbo kit in here, Robbie.
I kind of gave it to him already. I don't even know what it is. But anyway,
Malarkey.
for some reason, I just wasn't feeling it. It's not that it's a bad topic, but I was feeling uninspired the day I looked this up. So
I've
I
felt
will
that
go
way
first.
before.
I will go first.
I felt that way about the V8 Craigslist challenge, the very first time we ever did a Craigslist
Yeah,
challenge,
see?
and I still won. So
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm going to win, but that's fine. So again, it's that time of the year. It is the tax return time.
yes,
Time of the year when you spend money like you are made of it, I suppose.
like
you
the
could say.
government gave it to
Like
you.
the government gave it to you for free.
It's free money.
It's free money.
You didn't have it, but
It
now
was-
you do.
Well, you
That the-
kind of did,
It's free money that
but
the
we're
government.
not going there.
Your bank account didn't know it.
That's fair.
It's free money that the government used all year and then gave back to you.
Unless
it's
you
tax
set
return
up,
time.
Unless you set up your tax withholdings correctly.
And then you screw that up and then you end up owing, and that's a
Yeah.
bad situation too, so you should just avoid that.
So anyway, I Googled average tax return, U.S. tax return. I was specific, although I'm not sure that any other country does it.
I don't know
this
how
way.
they do it in
Not
other
a
countries.
clue.
I have no clue.
I don't know. So the largest number I found because I wanted to spend
Let's
as
have
much.
a little fun.
Yeah, $3,120.
Which I think was last year like 28 something or
I
29.
don't remember.
thought it was
I
less.
was gonna look and didn't.
Yeah, I think it was just a little bit less, a couple $100. So we're playing in the same ballpark. Rules are the same as last time.
Oh, there are rules?
Well,
The
that's
rules
your.
are there are no rules.
That's
you
your-
don't spend more than $3,120. I think
right.
those are the rules.
That's what I thought.
But you can buy a car for $3,120, or you can buy a car for less and modify it. You
And
can
we
do,
always run off face value, not what you think you could haggle it for.
Yeah, makes sense.
we got burned on that one before. But those are the rules. It is a Craigslist challenge. It's a Craigslist challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a full-blown Craigslist challenge. So I will go
one
first.
of my favorites.
So I can get out of the way so these guys can have fun. Robbie, can you bring up my first thing?
I'm excited for Michael's nonetheless. Someone asked
It might be fun. So here's the deal.
Is that what I think it is?
It's a
Jesus.
Corrado. It's a Volkswagen Corrado.
No, I'm super pumped about it
V6
now.
Corrado, or VR6 Corado.
yeah, it is.
92. It'd be the 12 valve, I think. Here's the thing.
God, those are weird looking cars.
I
They're
looked
so fantastic.
and looked and looked and looked and looked and looked and looked, and I looked some more, and then like this is in Schenectady or something. I don't even know. Jacksonville, Arkansas. Like I really looked, and I was just like, man, I've got project burnout or something. Nothing looks good to me. But anyway, I found this. It's red. It's a 1992. It's got 111,000 miles on it, which seems low to me
That's
for a
really not as
92.
high as I thought it
Seems
would be.
reasonable. I think that a lot of these cars ended up.
It comes with subwoofers.
A lot of these cars ended up in collector hands pretty early on, and so I think there's a lot of low mileage
Examples around.
Yeah.
It's probably a 5-speed, not a 6-speed.
Oh, it's for sure a five,
a 5-speed.
So it's a manual though. It's red. It's a Corrado. It's low miles, in good shape. It comes with the Bentley manual.
Does it run?
It does run.
How much?
What do you mean? How many monies?
How many monies?
$2,500 for the car.
Okay, so we burned up most of our budget.
So I went through and looked to see what
Stock?
it said it needed.
Roughly?
Yeah, it's stock.
Okay.
He said it needs some things, which is my favorite thing about Craigslist. Is they don't
That's
say what
super
it needs.
helpful. Thank you for that.
It does run. He did say specifically it needs tires.
Okay.
So I found some Continental Extreme contacts that would make a decent
All around
semi, not like a real, not. They call it a max performance summer tire, which I think is just a summer tire because it's a
What, like a-
340.
I was gonna say like
yeah.
a 340.
Yep. For tread wear rating. So that, what was the cost on that? $352 for those. And the best part is that they're 205/50/15s, which means they're less than $90 a piece.
Yeah.
Which is
Nice.
stunning.
Why do you think that?
Stunningly cheap.
Why do you think I have 15s on the Omni?
I thought for sure that I was going to blow
205,
through
50, 15s.
all of the rest of that $600 with tires, but nope, I had that. And they did say there was some bushings that needed replaced, I think, on the control arms. And apparently that might be an issue because those were surprisingly expensive at $50 for 2 bushings.
I love Corrados.
Yeah.
Thomas has a friend whose dad has one like parked in a garage, and it's the, I believe, G60, which is the supercharged one.
Yeah.
So much want.
They did have a 4-cylinder supercharged one,
And
which is pretty sick.
They're so weird.
Thomas is like, you could probably buy it from him. I was like, if only I had cash to buy it with, I would. But
I think they're neat. It's
You
like
have a lot of fun
it's
in
like
it.
a weird looking GTI thing.
they are, yeah, they're very classic.
I love that engine. I never owned the 12 valve. I had the 24 valve, but I love
VR6s.
2.8. It's a good
cool.
engine. I like it a lot. Be a lot of fun. A little flashback
It's a
for me.
V6 with a single head gasket.
It's got
Hot
one
damn.
head.
It's a thing.
It's a 15-degree
Weird.
cylinder angle.
Yeah, they look super weird. Like a head gasket.
But
is
they
hilarious
sound
looking.
Fucking sick.
They're
dude.
so cool.
Cut
They
them.
sound amazing. Yeah, literally cut
Just
them
cut
up.
them
with
off.
a-
For
off,
sure.
It sounds amazing. Or cut
People
the
call
resonator
them
out.
people call them Wookiees because they kind of have like that Chewbacca growl that you probably don't get
What's
because
that?
you hate all that is good in life.
It's Battlestar Galactica. I don't think
God
you said
damn
it.
it!
Is that
Battlestar. It's like the,
is that
cy-
that
the
goofy
cyborg
looking
things.
bear thing?
Yes,
It's the bear
tall
thing.
bear.
It's
thing,
not the
short.
it's not the
ones.
thing with the red eye thing that goes back and forth or the spaceship or whatever. It's,
He's all like, "Arr!"
Yes,
and then the other guy's
exactly.
like, "That's a great idea, bear." And then
thanks, bear man. Yeah.
Somebody's watched How I Met Your Mother too many times.
my favorite part of that whole show is when they're just shitting on Star Wars.
I'd have dumped her right there.
I would have married her right there. Oh, here's your ring. Found her.
It's for sure a deal breaker.
So anyway, that's my thing. That's the best I could do.
Volkswagen Corrado.
To be fair, if I had $2,500 or I had $3,100 and this was here, I would go look at it. I like Corrados. Somebody used to race one actually in DMVR for a while. I
Yeah,
don't know if it was fast. It'd be a street car for me. It'd just be for fun. Do dumb stuff.
I think his was a G60.
E-brick things, slide around. But anyway, that's my top runner. You want to look at my other two?
Sure.
These are just ones I found I thought were interesting. MGB GT
dear
for
God,
$2,000. No idea what's wrong with it.
An MGB GT for $2,000. That's for sure a
$2,300.
Will need to be towed.
Yeah, see, I don't know what that means. It's my favorite thing about
means it
Craigslist.
doesn't
It's
run.
got,
I mean,
it's got
what do
new
you
brakes.
It's actually clean, relatively clean, all things considered.
It's not
He's got
bad.
pictures of the rocker panels and stuff. It's it's faded, but it's not in bad shape. It's maroon or red or whatever you want to call that. And you'd never build that for $3,100. But I was surprised you could find one of these for $2,000, less than $3,000.
Seems
looks
reasonable.
complete.
Is that a hardtop car?
Yeah, it's a coupe, sir.
So it's like,
It's like the MG midget.
but with a hardtop?
Yeah, with a
Sold.
permanent hardtop. Yeah.
Sold.
I honestly like the MGB GT.
That looks cool.
They're very cool.
I didn't know that was
think.
really a thing. Is that local?
Sheboygan.
Sheboygan.
Ah, it's not really local.
No.
This is local enough. For a right car, we drive to Sheboygan.
If
If
that
I
was
needed
something
one-
I was looking for, I would happily drive to Sheboygan for that.
For $2,000 all day.
Plus, you gotta say Sheboygan like a bunch of times.
Where'd you
Where
get
guys
that
going?
from? Sheboygan?
Yeah, we're going to Sheboygan.
Look,
I
all the
bet
rockers
nobody
are clean.
who lives there likes to say it, though.
Oh, they have to hate it. Well, just like where I live.
I would also hate to spell it, because
Sheboygan.
Sheboy, what?
Sheboy?
So anyway,
Okay.
that was my not really a runner-up because you couldn't buy it, but it was something I found I thought was interesting. And let's do my next one. So we were talking about tow rigs, right?
we found one.
1966 C. Does it say 30?
30.
C30 car hauler.
So,
$1,500 needs a lot of work,
I can see that.
but if you wanted a vintage car hauler,
This is it.
$1,500 is pretty cheap
It's a
for that.
great way to start. I really like these.
I love the description though. He's like, doesn't run. No, seriously, it won't fit on a trailer. You need to think about it before you come down and look at it. And he has a point.
so can we roadkill this? Can we talk him into letting us get it running in his garage?
Ooh, that's a good idea. Bring some tires with us, maybe.
Because that would be worth it at that point.
What's it? Can you read the description, Robbie, briefly?
Does not run. Will need to be hauled. Was running when parked 8 years ago.
Oh, it'll
well,
start.
that's
It'll
Clear
start.
title. 12-foot long bed. 354 speed. This is not an easy truck to haul. I suggest hiring a rollback. It will not fit on a standard car trailer.
Told you.
He says like 4 times.
It's probably because people keep showing up and they're like, will this fit on my 16-foot trailer?
I rented this. I'm going to have to run down to U-Haul and rent a trailer. Do you think-
No. It's not going to fit. Don't waste my time with this.
We'll just flat tow it.
No, well, we're gonna get it. First, all we gotta do is drop the tank,
Yeah,
clean it,
right.
put fresh gas in it, clear the lines, bring a carburetor.
Check timing.
Don't even.
Yeah, just bring it.
a carburetor.
Call Jags.
Get
Hey,
a carburetor.
need a carburetor.
Cheapest carburetor for a normal 350. Okay,
Right.
600 CFM. Got it. Send it to
Right.
you.
Check
Distributor
timing.
maybe.
Yeah.
Or, yeah,
Maybe
check the
bring,
timing.
Bring some
It may
points
have
or whatever.
may have points on it.
Yeah, for sure. Has
So
points.
just throw all that shit away. We'll bring
Right,
an
so we'll
electronic
just bring up
distributor with
electronics
us. Yep.
set up with us. No big deal.
And then how could it not start?
Right, exactly. They're the world's simplest thing.
Fire
It'll
it
be
up.
if it ran when parked, it'll be fine.
It's a 350. It's fine.
Right.
It at least makes like 3 horsepower if it
It might
runs.
need.
It'll
it might,
get you somewhere.
Well, like we've said before, you specifically have said before, they never die. They just slowly make less
Yeah.
power.
Yeah, even if there's like a crack in the head, it'll
Right.
be fine. It'll get somewhere.
It'll get us out of his driveway and
That's all we're trying to do.
onto YouTube, and that's really all we want.
But I think it's pretty sweet. It needs a lot of work, but $1,500
few tires.
vintage car hauler. I mean,
That'd be really
That's a
cool.
good deal.
Done.
it'd be
as a-
great.
as
You
a
could
full
even,
project.
because now patina's the thing. You could just.
Doesn't
No.
look that bad.
No,
No,
it's
I bet
actually
there's
for-
a bunch of rust under it. I would bet.
Oh, I'll bet
Where
the
is
frame
it?
is
Does it say where it is?
What?
Where's the location?
It's in Sheboygan. Or this one's in Oshkosh.
No, Oshkosh.
Oh, you just got all these fun places
Oshkosh, Sheboygan.
to say.
So, anyway, I didn't do a build for that because you can't.
No,
can't
you
do
wouldn't
it.
be done at 3,000.
It's you take whatever budget is left and you get it running.
And next year you work on it some more.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was it. I already admit defeat, so I'm just gonna.
Well, Robbie,
You can-
should we
withdraw.
Should we just do like a crescendo? Should we do yours and then we'll finish with the
shit.
best one?
Shit, son.
Or do we want to like bring the show up and then bring it back down a little bit for the news?
Do you do the mountain type situation?
yeah.
Peak,
You want
peak,
we wanna-
peak in the middle?
peak
No, isn't
early?
it supposed to be all rise?
Well,
it's
see,
all-
I'm
yeah.
all rise, no fall
All
for
rise, no
sure
fall?
because I think that we should have
let-
me go last because
We'll let Captain Arrogant go last.
All right, Robbie's gonna go.
Jeez.
I'm so excited. I
That
can't
boy,
even
Robbie.
describe it.
Way to step up. Let's see what you got here.
We're going
Captain
chump
Arrogant,
car
that means
racing.
Robbie's going last.
Oh, Robert.
1984 Firebird.
Yeah, baby.
Chump car ready.
Ah, I gotta get a mullet.
Oh, it comes with a mullet. It's got a cage.
it's in there.
It's ready to go. It's got fire suppression. The only
Ooh.
thing it needs is a 350, which are a dime a dozen.
Does it run?
No.
Okay.
It has the
What
350 in it.
does
yeah.
it run about it? Like, could we just fix that motor, or is there a hole in it? Does it say?
He basically says needs 350, which I found here in town for $650.
And it's a Vortec.
Oh,
Yeah.
Those run pretty good.
I couldn't find. Like I didn't look into finding the specific 350. I was like, here,
Right,
there's
yeah,
a 350 in town. I'll
a
take it.
350 is the specific 350.
That's the 350 you want anyway. It's got the
Yeah,
Vortec
it's
heads.
true.
Those things flow like crazy.
Yeah.
It's here in town. I could just go get it tomorrow.
Doesn't have that many miles on it.
I think isn't this one in
Rings
town?
are seated.
Looks like a decent
It's a
motor.
Pella, isn't it?
Looks fairly clean.
Or no, what's that say?
It's on the Des Moines Craigslist, so it doesn't matter.
Nah, that's what matters.
Parole or something.
Yeah, whatever.
Cool.
But anyway, so it's got the chunk.
Full cage and
Full
everything. huh?
cage.
Was it campaigned as
Yeah,
and then retired?
He spent $13,000 for one race doing I think he said lemons.
This is what people don't understand about lemons. Oh, it's a
not cheap.
$500 budget. I spent $13,000 on my $500 car
do
to
one
build
race.
it. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what people don't get.
Yep.
Buy somebody else's built project. It's way cheaper.
Yeah, so you
Shit,
get it
you
for,
could do any kind of racing with that if you
Yeah.
wanted to. Do some
that was-
PDX or
that
some.
was the plan. $2,000, throw the 350 in it, and then use whatever's left to.
So, Robbie, are you
fix
going to
little thing.
close the deal on winning this by telling us that this is sitting in your driveway right now?
No, I do go to.
Damn it.
I didn't go to Phoenix. No,
Is that
this
a
is in
stick?
Oregon. This is
Is it a
Bend.
stick?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a 5-speed with 4-wheel disc brakes.
So it's got the T5, which
Four-wheel
will
discs.
immediately explode.
Yeah,
So you got to deal with that part.
It has a T5s are not so good.
Well, not on V8s, no.
Damn it.
They don't do well with V8s.
Shit.
Did you
That's-
T5 swap something?
I may have a T5 on my list as well.
We'll see what engine you put on the T5. That Vortec that Robbie
Well,
had
there's
pulled
a-
up, that would probably be fine. In the trucks, they were putting, like the work trucks, they were doing the 6-cylinder and I think the smaller V8s on T5s.
I may have.
can't do it.
My last part probably will put this. Will destroy it, but it's fine.
Okay. Is that some
T5s
sort
are
of
cheap.
Yeah.
horse lady hawk on there?
So they took the wings from the chicken hawk, whatever they call that, and then they used a pinup devil lady.
Fire chicken, Robbie.
Fire chicken. Is that what
Fire
they call it?
chicken?
Then they used some like pinup devil looking lady to take up the body of the chicken hawk.
Does she
But
have
she's-
heels on or hooves?
Yes, and
Okay,
they're
perfect.
staying for sure.
Perfect.
It's my favorite part of the car. That thing's staying. So my
anyway.
helmet's gonna have a mullet on it. Oh man,
That would be
I kinda-
funny to get like a
I kinda hate
bullet
myself.
wig and glue it onto your helmet.
yeah, why
that
not?
would be super funny.
I hate myself for how much I love this car.
Go get it, Robbie.
You guys want to go to Oregon with me?
Yeah, we'll go get it. We'll drive it back. Well, it doesn't run. Never mind. I guess
we
we're
can
not doing it.
swap it while we're out there.
We could, you know what might work though? We could do that, or we could drive out there, go to Enterprise, get a truck, go
Yeah.
to U-Haul, get a trailer,
Well,
drag all that shit back.
what's really too bad is that your C30s are the wrong direction.
Oh,
bet.
That
shit.
would be the greatest road trip ever.
We'd be like, screw Motor Trend. Look what we did. You guys just go to one place to get a
we
car.
bought a broken down truck.
Fixed
here,
it.
drove it to Oregon, bought a broken down car, and brought them all back to
yeah.
Iowa.
With an engine
it.
on the back of the truck. Put it in the car. Halfway through, the truck broke
We
down,
could
so we put
stop
the
at
engine for the car in the truck and then got a different 350 to put in the car.
We could stop at a race on the way home.
Absolutely.
That'd be wonderful.
That would be the most epic movie.
You'd be winning all of the roadkill.
Oh man, that'd be crazy.
They'd have to give you some sort of award or something for that. Anyway, was that it, Robbie? Did you have any honorable mentions?
Oh yeah, I got one more. This one's in Phoenix. It's a 1988 MR2 for $1,000.
Is that the boxy
$1,000.
AW11, the first gen?
Yeah,
It's my favorite gen.
That's cheap.
So
That's
he,
cheap thrills right there.
Yep. So
White.
it's white. It's very clean for the most
Well,
part.
it's
It's got
from Phoenix,
it's kind of
so-
damaged bumper, but it doesn't run. Or I guess it runs, but it's got like this weird coolant leak. And he says he hasn't gotten around to fix it because it's a part they don't remanufacture anymore, and he's not around to searching for it.
Is it called
What
the
is it?
head?
I don't know. He didn't say what it was.
Just something that leaks.
something that they don't make anymore that
Did he
leaks.
specify what it leaks? Is it
Coolant.
water?
It leaks coolant.
Oh, okay.
I was like, you can get creative and fix that somehow.
Yeah.
How hard
can-
start with I have
just get some-
$3,000, and I start with $1,000 in the car.
You could fix
I
it
got
for
$2,000
$2,000.
to fix it.
Yeah.
Plus, I guess 1,000 since I'm going to get. I had this whole planned out. So I go to Phoenix and I buy this car for $1,000. Then I buy these 2 racing seats.
Okay.
They're 3A racing seats. They got, I presume it's fake leather. $50 for 2 seats and brackets. Those are coming with me.
Is that in Arizona?
Yeah, they're both in Phoenix.
You madman. You searched for that on Craigslist and you found that?
Yeah. 2
Okay.
seats for $50.
No, I'm with you.
can't afford
dude.
to not buy it.
No, I'm with you, dude.
And then I get the Race Quip 5-point
doing parts
harnesses.
That we all have now.
Yeah, you have to have them. Safe. Those are only $70 a piece.
SFI
So cheap.
rated.
So cheap.
It's very cheap. It's amazing.
And then, because you got to be safe, I'm gonna get an auto power Weldon cage.
Did that cost more than the car?
$9,500 or
That's an expensive roll cage.
Damn, son.
$975.
$9,500
for the U welded full
two-seater
cage
car. Whoa.
That's the full one, huh? $975. Damn, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's not cheap. But
Robbie's going race carring though.
we're going
with all
race
that
carring
shit.
with this.
We could lemons that.
Yeah,
Actually, that would be that'd be quite the lemon setup.
it'd be fun.
You need fire suppression in lemons, don't you?
You do now.
Technically.
It is a new rule.
So that would
They're
not
not
be in
that
the
bad.
budget for this.
They had a kit at Carl's that was $450,
I think that's pretty common.
which I was kind of strongly thinking like that seems like relatively cheap insurance if you had a nice motor,
Yeah,
all things considered.
Yeah. Josh Fettis is, I think, almost literally purchasing his as we speak. So for the Neon,
I
the
just
ACR.
I just kind of want like the button. How's that work exactly in those?
just sprays
Do
everywhere.
some of those do you have to grab the thing? Is it like in the car, but
Yeah,
you grab it?
I think that you have the fire extinguisher bottle, the cheapest ones. You
Yeah,
have the
you-
fire
you
extinguisher
grab it.
bottle. You just pull the pin, grab the handle,
Yeah.
and just like you would point and shoot, it just goes.
No, I think I want the full.
plump.
I want the
Yeah,
button.
you want a button.
I want.
You want a
button.
big red button.
Yeah, I want people
It
to get
says,
in
"Do
and
not
be like,
push."
"Don't fucking touch anything."
No, seriously, no.
I'm not
No,
joking.
but, like,
this is not
don't.
a joke. Don't touch anything. I just want to. Yeah.
In case of fire.
No, just don't like put your hands in your
Just
lap.
don't touch it.
touch anything.
I will touch it if there's a
Swear,
fire.
If there's no, just don't look at anything. Spinal tap rules. You stay on your side.
The Firebird had it.
Firebird did have
Yeah,
it.
see, I was going
It's
to
ready
say.
to go.
So it just looks like
So
a
it's
regular.
just the bottle. I
it's
think you
a
just grab the
bottle.
handle.
It's got like a whole system, so it sprays it all over.
Yeah, I think
I assume
want
that it
one of
has
those.
to just be in the engine bay.
No, I think
I don't know what the rules
spray it on
say.
your face if you want. You want to keep the fire
Yeah,
off.
I
I
of
get
think
you.
it's
wild.
good for you, right?
Get
Keeps the
wild.
fire
'Cause
off of you.
I think
When I
that-
saw him do it on
yeah,
Jackass,
but it also keeps the air off of you.
Yeah.
There's air everywhere, Adam.
allegedly.
Don't put it in your
If
mouth.
you believe the government, but but I think I can't remember. It was either the Bam Margera show or it was Jackass. They sprayed each
God.
other with fire extinguishers.
Oh,
that was a
gosh.
bad.
I think it was
deal.
CKY. Like
Was it
before-
CKY?
before
Did they
all
end up
that.
in the hospital?
I think
It
maybe
was
because
his eyes were all screwed
yeah,
up.
Oh, for sure.
that shit got in his
Oh,
eyes.
Viva La Bam. They sprayed
Yeah, it was Viva La Bam.
Chris Rabb in the eyes with it.
His face was all swollen. I don't know what kind of fire extinguisher it was either. Who knows?
I think it was just a standard one. Like
The ABC one.
Yeah.
Those guys
No.
are morons.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel about
Yeah,
it.
don't do that.
Don't spray a fire extinguisher in your face. But that is a good question. Maybe the more expensive ones have like a rear. Because, I mean, you could have a nasty... If you had a fire in the back where the fuel cell was...
Yeah,
Or
I
the
can
fuel
see
tank,
that. But if
that'd
you
be
have
bad.
a factory tank, I wouldn't worry too much about
Well,
it.
don't the kits come with like 4 or 6 nozzles?
I don't have a slice clue.
I think they come with like
Some
4.
of it, Robbie, you need to buy one or I need to buy one so we can...
I know we need to install one.
I wanna put one in.
I really considered buying one because you could buy like a nice fire extinguisher or like $200 more. You could just get like a full setup.
Here, how about this? Josh, post the stuff onto the group because I
Yeah,
know you've
we
done
wanna
your
know.
research and I have no clue what we're talking about.
Perfect. It's the gist of this
It'll
show.
be on the group.
It will be. All right, was that it?
That's the 2 I got.
We got 2 race cars.
I got 2.
That boy. All right.
All right, Adam.
All right, people.
We're about
Good
to
Here
be
it
luck.
comes.
schooled.
Good luck.
This was specifically
Beating the
designed
Firebird.
not only to be the most epic thing you've ever seen in your life,
Oh, God.
but also piss Robbie off. So what I have right here, ladies and gentlemen,
Is it 240?
is a 1993 240.
But not. Would that be an S14 by 93?
No. It's an it'd be an S13 if you want to be a Nissan.
So it's not an
it's a
S13.
shitbox Volvo.
It's a Volvo.
Not only is it the world's squarest and most boxy of cars, which Robbie hates so much, it's also a station wagon.
Yeah. We
This
should
came out in 90s?
Yeah. That's
Well,
a
God, they were behind.
They were making it since like 79. They didn't kill it till like 95, but it's fine.
So it's on cars.com. How many dollar bills do
So
I have
it's
to give up?
$1,000 doesn't run, which is
Okay.
exactly the kind of car I was looking for.
I get that.
I did not want one that ran. I want the cheapest
You
one I
could
could
pay
possibly get that
$18 a
wasn't
month
wrecked.
for it.
Perfect. How much?
Hallelujah.
How long is that financing at 18? You gonna click on that? How are they coming up with that? How many months?
3.8%, 6% interest rate, 60.
60. 60 months. I
Dude,
dare.
I would almost do it just
I would
because,
dare someone to
right?
walk into a bank and say, I want to finance a $999 car for 60 months. And if they approve you, tell me
I
what
would-
your interest rate
It's
is.
15 if you go 72 months.
Tell me what your interest rate is, because I'm going to guarantee
Dude,
you
it's
it's not
almost worth
3.8.
doing it just for the joke, right?
Yeah, and to write that
like,
$15 check every month.
30 if you go 36.
I'm still paying this thing off. Wait,
Oh,
haven't
yeah,
you
boy.
owned it for 2 years? Yeah, got a 60-month loan on it. What?
60 months, baby. That finance is dangerous.
All right, so anyway,
so Adam's a school teacher.
Volvo, the 240. I'm just going to refer to it from here on out as my 240
Now-
or the 240.
To be fair, you know, we'd have to do a little research on this, but I'm thinking maybe Volvo was the original 240.
I think you're right.
I'm
Actually.
thinking,
I
you know,
think, no,
it's
you're
just-
right.
I'm
Absolutely.
gonna do a little Googling while
Please,
you're.
I beg of you, Robbie. Let's move on
You continue.
to the motor, or is it the? Let's look at the motor.
The one in it?
No, the motor
one
I'm
you're
putting
gonna
in
add
it.
to
the
it.
motor that's in it is completely immaterial here. It's some sort of piece of shit four-banger. It doesn't run. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it don't matter.
JagsThatRun.com sells what I have to can only assume is the world's cheapest swap kit for a V8.
Really?
No, it's right on.
Holy
it's on,
shit! That is $300.
Well, it's just
$295 for the motor mounts.
Yeah, it's you can get that.
But that's all I need.
Yeah,
I don't need a fancy pan with a weird sump or anything like that. I kind of looked into it. You
Nice.
just need the kit.
nice.
Is this for a small block or no? It's for a. What's that say? Oh,
it's
just
a
V8.
Yeah. It's very
So we're
generic.
gonna
They
say-
say it's
we're gonna
like
say small
they're
block.
like slotted so you can make whatever you got
May
work.
need to do some fab.
There may be
There
some
may be
welding
some mild
things.
I have a welder. I have friends. It's fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
For the sake of the show, $300. So that
Yep.
brings my total to $1,300.
Okay.
Swap kit. Engine, please, Robbie. Did you find what we were looking for?
Yeah, Robbie, I have some really bad news.
Yes.
The 240 and 260 series was introduced in the autumn of 1974.
Boom.
Your life has been a lie, sir. You driving a Volvo copy.
The 240. The motor I'm putting in my 240 is this. It's in a truck already.
Okay.
He wants $600 for the motor. You can hear it run before he takes it out.
Okay. What's the truck that it's in?
It's a
98 Chevy.
98 Chevy, so it's a
it's a-
5.7 truck motor.
Okay. With Vortec heads again?
LS
Yep.
swap for life, people.
Yes.
No, wait. This is a This is a throttle body injection Gen 1 Vortec
it's fine.
head
Don't worry about it.
5.7 liter.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So then I've got my motor
Okay.
and my swap kit,
Yep.
and I've still barely even spent $2,000,
Yes.
Okay.
which means we got a lot of budget here yet.
Okay.
So then I didn't really like the wheels that are on it. They're just god awful.
Wheels are bad. Okay.
Oh, no, wait. I need a transmission.
You need a transmission.
Need a transmission. Got to be a manual. Found this guy selling a T5 out of an S10 with the Iron Duke motor.
Yep.
Did a little Google fooing. Found out that the Iron Duke and that generation small block Chevy, same bolt pattern.
Hold them up.
So I don't
Hot
even
damn.
need, so I don't even need to buy a bell housing. Bam. T5.
Done.
Got myself a manual transmission. Moving on.
What's your budget at now?
I don't know what that would be. 1,000, 13, 19, 22. $2,200.
Okay. Wheels?
Wheels and tires, $250. Found these on Craigslist. Volvo has a very strange bolt
I
pattern.
believe that.
So I found these I can't talk. Found these wheels and tires. They were like a 225 17, $250. Plenty of tread to smoke them off because let's face it, this bitch is going drifting.
Hell yeah. Party time.
Yep.
My next mod, which is not in these pictures because there's no pictures for this, I tried to find some coilovers for a reasonable price, and I was just going to have myself a V8, and I was just going to drop it to the ground on coilovers and call it a day.
Yep.
The cheapest set of coilovers put me over my budget because the cheapest set I could find was a set of BCs for $995. Nobody makes like some knockoff Imusa bullshit
I mean, that's all you wanted.
for my 240.
That's amazing. You sure Raceland doesn't make coilovers for this?
I just love
To
how
Google.
No, I googled for like 15 minutes.
Really?
I even looked for used ones on Craigslist using Search Tempest.
No good.
So I was unsuccessful in finding anything. So I decided, you know what? Fuck it. We're cutting these springs. That's free.
That is free.
Free, baby. Cutting the springs,
Safety-
dropping it down. Who cares?
To go back to last week, safety third.
Who ca-
I'd recommend it.
Who cares? My next mod, also not on the list, welding that diff,
Yep.
free.
Free.
I've got a welder.
Free
I've got
95.
friends. $0.
Worst case scenario, you break it. It's not that big deal.
So I still had a pretty decent chunk of change left over. So I hit the eBays and I found myself a turbo kit for $600. Yes, Robbie. $600. shipped to my door.
Where's your intercooler?
Nah, you don't need that.
Bro, you don't have to have an intercooler.
You don't have to have an intercooler.
Dude, how long do you really think
It's
this
just
is going
highly
to
recommended.
How
I
long?
also have a question.
All right,
Probably
continue,
nobody.
Robbie.
No.
Continue, Robbie.
Where's your drive shaft?
See that? So,
I was going to ask him where the exhaust was as well.
Oh fuck! You don't care about that.
I don't care about that. This is just
Just
going drifting.
dump it straight out.
Yeah, we're just dumping it out.
I'm
the
good with
side.
that. I'm not going to question that.
No. So this total is $3,045. So I have a little bit of budget left over
For a drive shaft?
Not a ton. See what
He's
I
going to make a drive shaft.
He's going to custom make a drive
Out
shaft
of like
for
a
50
steel
bucks.
pole and whatever U-joints he can find. He's just going to weld that shit together. That looks about
technically
right.
I only need one side because I can just use the factory drive shaft, cut
Yeah.
whatever I need
Yeah.
out of it, and then get the U joint to bolt onto the
He
T5.
might be able to do that for...
It doesn't have to be super balanced, I suppose.
No, this
You're
is
not
going
gonna drive
drifting.
down the street.
It's fine.
He might be able to do it for $100 maybe.
Which
Maybe.
I have
Yeah, you could do.
I have
it for 50 if you had
$75
to.
left over. I'll bet you if I went into a welding shop, like if I went into Howe's Fabrication,
He doesn't
With-
give a shit. He
you
just
know
welded
what?
that shit
This
together.
You know
work
what?
with this.
I'll bet Booney would take whatever change
Fuck
I
no.
had
Oh,
left
yeah.
over
No,
and
he
it'd be
would
done.
not. He would not.
Done.
He would
Are
not.
you kidding me?
No,
No,
he
he-
absolutely
Booney would be
not.
hella into this. Are
No,
you kidding
he'd
me?
tell you to get lost.
I'm not putting my
He
fucking
like hit
name
the
on it.
yeah exactly.
No,
Hit
he
the
doesn't have to.
fucking
He doesn't have
bricks.
to put his name on it. I'll
You
keep
get
it
outta
on
here.
the DL. I'll tell him that whatever competitor he wants me to tell people did it. It's fine.
Who did this drive shaft for you? Well, it was no. No.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Didn't touch it.
Don't know what you're talking about. Never seen that car before.
Be great.
He told me it was a railing.
I figured if I really have to, I mean, I know this is outside of the rules, but if I was really doing this, I'm
Out of
not paying
pocket.
$1,000 for that car. I'm paying $750 for it. Let's be real here. The rest of this stuff, the engine, I might be able to haggle another $100 off of. The trans, I might
So we're
be able
going
to
away
haggle
from the
$50.
rules,
I know.
man.
I'm outside of the rules. I figured I could get the drive shaft sorted for $75
I'll even give you that
somewhere.
He
one.
really.
I won't disagree with
This
that
would be way too much fun.
It'd be,
to do this whole
it'd be,
thing.
It'd
Yeah.
be tons of fun for 15 minutes to blow up the T5 or the rear end because I don't know if
Well,
I
if
don't
you're
know.
welded, it's not going anywhere.
Your red might be good.
Yeah, I don't know
might
anything
be
about
fine.
the rear end.
Fine.
I know that they made turboed versions of these. Now, clearly, it probably wouldn't make China
What
turbo V8 power.
No.
But I know a lot of people do pretty crazy things to these cars. So maybe that is a pretty stout rear end as is. I don't know. But either way, I figured that I could finally join Robbie
In the 240
in the
club?
240 club.
Yeah, boy. Couple 240s.
This 240 needs to be
I'll go
taken
fi-
out behind the woodshed.
I'll go
just
find.
shot.
I'll
Couple
go find
240s,
every
a little
Facebook group
RX-7.
I can find that's like 240 Owners Club, 240s Fan Club, stuff like that. Just join them and post pictures of
People
my
do that
build.
all the time.
sure
They
they
post a picture of these shitty cars and they're like,
Whoa.
They'll be like, this is the real 240, and then they'll post a picture of like an S13. This is shit.
And then they'll just
And then
they'll just
everyone
leave.
And then they
then
leave.
everyone just like freaks out.
So the reason I found this is because like Michael, I was feeling relatively uninspired. So
I was
I
inspired.
Wasn't
I
tripping
set
my
a
trigger.
Google search. Just semi-locally for like anything $2,000 and under, and just kind of started scrolling, and I found a newer model Volvo with a blown motor for like 1950 or something
Yep.
like that, and I was like,
Oh.
shit, they used to make a Volvo that was called the 240. I'm building that. I even texted Chaz, who is a known Volvo fanatic, and I was like, dude, you're gonna love this.
Ugh. It's terrible.
Sorry,
That's okay.
Robbie.
Last year I made gold rims just to piss you off.
I gotta let him have this one.
No!
Even if he's got to give up the turbo kit to get some of the other stuff
Yeah.
to work, I gotta give him this one.
No way.
I figure even without the turbo kit, I still have a V8 swapped Volvo.
The Lemons car is pretty good.
Firebird wins.
It's pretty good. I don't know.
V8 swapped Volvo. Well,
We're still doing
I'm
a
killing
V8
it.
Firebird in the Firebird.
no, it's already got a
Kind of.
V8 in it. That doesn't count.
You got to pull it out and put a different one in.
Doesn't count, Robbie.
Counts a little.
Doesn't count, Robbie.
I don't know. The Firebird is good. I don't know. Do I have to vote? Don't I? I have to choose.
You
one?
are
I have
the
to choose
you
one.
Yeah, you
are
are
the
now.
deciding. Well, yeah,
Until
'cause
the
now this
group
is a
gets on this.
competition.
Well, so here's my
I'm so
here's,
winning this. Are you kidding me?
here's my problem.
No way.
Here's my problem. I've V8 swapped a car. There's so much shit that comes up when you're doing it.
So
I'm aware.
here's the thing, though. You correctly V8 swapped a car. I'm doing this drifter style. We're just full YOLO. I'll
He
zip
did
tie
it drifter
shit in.
style.
Nah,
I kinda,
his is
I did it cheap, but I did all the stuff I was supposed to do.
right.
Right.
He did it like 95%.
It's gonna last through the season.
Oh,
is the
for sure.
plan.
Mine
Yeah.
won't last an event.
If it's
Then why spend the money?
If it's literally okay,
It's funny, Robbie.
fuck. Now this is a problem because what I would do, you know what I would do if I was going to do this, if I had to choose between these two, I'd buy the Firebird, and then I'd take it out and try to blow it up with the motor that Robbie has. That's what I would do.
So what if I drop the turbo kit and leave that $600 for et ceteras?
That's a start.
Volvo,
Dude, $600 would get me the rest of the way for that car.
He'd be really close
for hack together.
He'd be really
for
close.
hacking it together.
You're gonna hack it together.
I'm not. I'm not
shit.
building this right. I'm building this shitty.
Hold
This
on,
is
hold on.
hard.
Let me help you with this picture of the hood with the salute on it. Look at that.
See, the
fire
thing is, I
chicken
like
hawk
the idea
chick.
of Adams because it's so stupid.
240?
Yeah, your 240 because it's so stupid.
I'm not going to disagree
But
with that
I really
part
like
of
the
it.
idea of buying this car, putting the V8 in it, and just
And we're going lemons racing.
no, we're not going lemons racing. I'll tell you that much.
We're going drifting.
I'd take it drifting too.
That's fine.
I don't know. That's hard. Wagon's way more style points. It's a lot more.
I could
style
leave the back
points.
seats in it.
Style
Wagon-
points.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
drifting.
for
Robbie.
sure, Robbie.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And drifting?
Absolutely.
Mullet points. We want mullet points.
Of all the cars in the world that drifters might actually laugh at you for building, that might be one of them.
Good.
Okay, so if it's not a serious drift car, it's just a dicking around drift car.
Absolutely.
It goes to Adam.
Yeah.
If I was going to buy the car and actually do real things with it, it'd be the Firebird because it has a cage in it.
What a
So-
very political answer.
But I really,
So I'm not gonna.
if I
You're
okay,
both winners in my mind.
Yeah.
if I gotta choose
Participation
someone.
trophies for everybody.
No, fuck that. They're winners and losers. I'm choosing the Firebird.
Yes!
That's all right. The group will vindicate me. I
No,
just know
the problem
it,
is-
Robbie. They like
Too
me
much
more.
experience with this, and
I
it
know!
sucks. It takes forever, and everybody's like, "Why is it not done yet?" It's like, because I needed to buy like $300 worth of fasteners. Like,
I needed 13
fuck, I didn't
fittings.
even know. I didn't know until I got in here.
And then you need the flow reducer for your fucking power steering pump.
Nah, fuck that. You
And
just loop it
You
out.
can't hook up.
This is
none of the
drifting.
shit coming off the motor for the coolant actually hooks up to where it goes on the radiator. So you're trying to
gonna be all
reduce shit,
soft
make different
pipes.
sizes. It's fucking crazy. So based on that information, I would pick the Firebird. If it was my money.
So now that that's been settled, even though I think that the group is going to vindicate me,
They won't.
I'll drop in a few nuggets of information I did learn. Jags That Run makes a adapter kit for an aluminum radiator because I'm fairly certain that the radiator that's in the
You're not gonna
Volvo
wanna use that
for the 4-cylinder will not cool a V8, especially if I turbocharge the piss out of it and then drift it. So you'll need things like that.
Fans.
Fans.
Radiator,
I understand
Air
that,
intercooler.
that
bolts,
this would not build
gaskets.
it, but it'd be fun to try.
It would literally be fun to bash it together and ruin it.
Right.
I mean, warp the cylinder heads.
Yeah,
and then-
absolutely.
yeah.
And like I said, if I was really doing this, I guarantee I could knock $500 to $600 off of those.
You
things
could find ways to
right off
save
the
money
top.
and make money back. But
Yeah, that's the other thing.
no, you definitely could.
That car is really clean inside. It's got it's a really nice car physically.
It's not nice leather seats.
Nice
Sell some
leather
of that
seats and
stuff.
all that stuff. The dash is in good condition. Most of it's not cracked up. It's got a really nice center console. I bet I could, if I was really trying to do this, I'll bet I could get some
See, then
money
you need
out
a
of those
clutch
things.
pedal because it's going to go from
Yeah, it's
auto
an
to manual.
automatic.
See how this adds up real
Yeah,
fast?
Yeah, it's an automatic.
You need a
what you
slave
need.
cylinder and master cylinder. You need lines.
Yeah. So it
Yep.
goes downhill really quickly.
Add that too. Mine doesn't work right.
I took an
And
auto
this is the thing
240.
that people don't seem to understand about V8 swapping. The
it's-
the
oh, it's
motor
not that easy.
itself is
No,
not
no,
the
it's-
expensive part of this
It's
build.
a nickel and dime stuff.
Oh, you can just run out of the junkyard and buy a $300 LS.
Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
But that's like a quarter of the cost.
And then none of them ever fit. That's the other thing that people don't understand. They don't fit in the car. If you buy one from a truck, it does not fit in a car.
Yeah, because
It's too tall.
Yeah, it's too tall. The
Cut the hood out.
Intake man.
Like, oh, you just changed the intake manifold. Well, yeah, but now you have to change the fuel rails. You have to literally buy the top end off of an LS motor,
Right.
which is like $1,000. Or you
Because
just get an
everybody
LS.
who has that knows what they
figured
have.
out that they fuck. Well, yeah, because everybody that bought a truck motor figured out that they fucked up and it doesn't fit.
Yeah, and
Now they need the whole
if you're
top
calling,
end.
hey, I just need the intake and the fuel rails off of it. Yeah, I know what you're doing. That'll be $1,000, please.
Or you can buy a new one from Fast and it's $1,200.
Right.
Yep.
So and then you
yeah,
got to get retuned and all that
I understand
nonsense.
all of these things.
But
I would cut that hood up faster than
yeah, just cut a hole in it. You
absolutely
just cut a hole in it for sure.
So,
Hook up the old computer, see what happens.
despite the fact that I despise this term, this would be the no fucks given build.
I
Hate
like
that fucking term.
I get it
in
though.
ways I can't even describe. I think the guy who built those RX-7 or that RX-7 and that Rolls Royce is a moron. Those cars
I
look
don't
like
hate
shit.
I don't hate those.
But that's what I would do with this.
I'm not big into it because I think you're lazy.
It's
you
right.
didn't do it right, and therefore you're just calling it like style.
It's right up there with rat rotting to me. It's the same thing.
It's like
I won't totally disagree.
purposeful rat rotting.
He did stupid shit because he thought it was funny, and so he did it not because that was the best or only way to do it, but because that was the most interesting or quote funniest way he could come up with.
Yep.
Like running coolant lines over the roof of his Rolls Royce.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It takes a lot less skill to do that than it does to do it the right way.
Right.
That's the part that bothers me.
Yes.
So
It took us 2 years, but Adam literally took time out of his day to plan out a V8 swap.
240.
Hey, and you know what? The other day he said something about rear-wheel drive cars. You remember that?
Uh-huh.
He's coming around. He's coming around. You see it happening?
This guy.
He did
Let's calm
pick a
down here.
240. I mean,
I built a 240, Rob.
He built a V8 swap 240.
I built a
He's
V8
really
swap
close.
240.
It wasn't quite right.
He wants a V8 rear-wheel drive car.
to go drifting. He didn't say racing. He didn't say
No,
lemons
That's
racing.
because I would not.
I said racing.
That's because I would not be able to put a cage in that and take it racing for that budget. So I can go drifting, I just can't tandem, or I have to go find one of those places that I'm not so quite sure is
Legit.
probably where I want to be on cageless
Safety
tandem.
fifth.
Right.
Man, cageless tandem freaks me out. I don't
Yeah,
like it. I
straight
know
up.
that they do it.
Don't
Freaks me
do
out
it.
though,
Straight
man.
up not okay with it.
Scary.
Now, I don't know many people know this or not, but a lot of modern cars actually have door bars. They're hidden in the door.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
which
and
is why when you go to like a NASCAR style bar that goes out into the door, you have to remove that and it requires extra bracing. But it still freaks me out. I don't like it.
and these are like tanks. These are like these Volvos are like known for being wildly structurally sound, very safe cars, but I still wouldn't want to take it drifting tandem style.
It's a lot of destruction.
So
Yep. Cool.
I win.
Robbie may have won.
also, I cut springs in it, not taking an autocross. Let's be real.
Oh, yeah. I kind of forgot about that. Safety 10th. You guys want to do some news?
Let's do some news. You guys ready for this first one?
Oh, it's a doozy.
This got Robbie written all over it. Toyota creates the most thermally efficient 2-liter gas engine.
Oh, good engineering. Thermodynamics.
Ah!
Math. Heat transfer. Wait, what were we talking about?
Robbie's got a raging erection.
He loves this type of stuff.
I did after I won with my Firebird. Now this is just...
It's just a
icing on
bonus.
the cake.
It's a bonus.
We're going to talk engineering things. Woohoo! Well, learn us, Robbie. What's this thing all about?
Oh, they just designed an engine that's uses thermal efficiency better than most internal combustion engines. Which
So this is a replacement for the Prius engine,
yes,
which is just absolutely riveting news. So exciting.
everyone should know about this and run out and get it.
What I think is interesting is that they're spending any level of R&D budget on internal combustion engines at Toyota.
Yes.
I
I had
think
that same
that's-
thought.
That's mostly why I wanted to talk about this, is because everybody talks about how the internal combustion engine is dead. The shit ain't going nowhere. Why even bother? And then Toyota, of all people, they're still working on it, which to me shows that they're still not 100% convinced that it's dead.
Right.
Well, and also Toyota of all manufacturers, and literally of all manufacturers, should have the most battery research and development because they built the first Prius in like 99 or something.
Honda had the first
Crazy.
yeah, the
hybrid.
ugly looking thing.
the Insight.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that was before the Prius?
Yep.
Yes.
Fair enough.
They make
but I
sweet
don't
case
I don't
cars.
I would stand by my I would stand by my comment that Toyota should still have they've spent more money on R&D than Honda has on batteries.
Absolutely. I think, just because they were first out the gate doesn't make them the forefront. So,
No.
Honda, I mean.
But they're working on this and they're working on hydrogen and not advancing. I mean, not that they're
Fully
not
electric
advancing.
cars.
Yeah, but
That's not their first
they're not
priority.
dumping all of their money into the electric car program, which I find
Purely electric
intriguing.
car.
Yeah.
I think that Toyota's convinced that the electric cars isn't going to sell long term, whereas I think your Corollas and your whatever low end cars that they're selling shit tons of, they're just going to keep selling. Not as an electric model.
I mean, there's at least 10 to 15 years left on internal combustion cars. There has to be,
without a doubt.
So this is I mean, and I think that this shows that there's still, because they said something about like 9 different engines and transmissions. They have a new transmission that's large percentage. I mean, not huge, but in an engineering world where that car's probably pretty well thought out already, even single-digit percentage improvements is still marked improvement.
Right. Yeah. This engine has a 40% thermal efficiency, which is kind of unheard of in internal
pretty
combustion.
Impressive.
It's 1% less than the 1.8 liter hybrid.
When you have something that literally runs on explosions and fire, being that thermally efficient is pretty impressive.
Anything above 50 is almost impossible.
Right.
Like physically impossible.
Right.
The other thing I thought was interesting about this is they talked about the new transmission, and it is CVT, but it has a first gear.
Yeah. Which
so it
makes
actually
sense.
has a first gear to get you rolling off a stop.
Smart.
But then the CVT takes over after you get out of that first gear. And they just said that it requires basically there's less load on that the rubber band. Yeah, the rubber band. There's less load on that rubber band. It can be made smaller and more efficient, cheaper to manufacture. So
I also think that you can apply more torque needed to get the vehicle moving. Once the vehicle is moving, it doesn't take nearly as much power to keep a vehicle moving as it does to get it moving.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's big.
It's physics 101.
I know, but I just
figured it out.
Why did it take them that long? I think they were just focused on CVT. Let's focus on this.
Yeah.
Wait a second. This is fucking stupid.
Well,
This
they're just
isn't
like,
working out.
we got to do multiple things here.
Let's make this a little bit better by making it slightly more complicated, but still better.
Yep. I think that's it. It'd be
I don't
interesting
have a whole lot
to
to
see
say
the
on
future
it.
of the internal combustion engine.
I'm just excited to see that
There is a new one.
somebody's doing
Somebody's trying.
not only is there a new one, but they're so there's lots of people coming out with new performance engines and stuff like that, and that's all fine and dandy, but realistically, this is the future of automobiles, and they're still working on it as an internal combustion engine, and that is something to be happy about, even if it's for a Prius. So
Right.
Up next, viability of electric big rig maker Nikola is looking up.
quite
Yeah,
the deal.
it's looking pretty legit. To be
That thing
honest.
looks sick. That's a nice looking
yeah.
semi truck.
So they seem to have a hell of a business plan, and
There's a lot to like about this. So there's going to be the Nikola 1, which is a sleeper cab. Nikola 2, which is a day cab.
day cab. Yep.
So obviously smaller cab. For those that don't know, the
Doesn't have
sleeper
a
cab
mini
has a
apartment.
bunk in it in the back, and
Yep.
day cab is going to be the ones that are smaller that you see running around town. But this particular model has, or at least a stated 320 kilowatt hour battery, which is it didn't sound like there were options. They just said here's what it is. Maybe there's going to be a smaller one for running around town. But the really interesting thing about this is that the trucks will have a turbine engine running on hydrogen
to produce
electricity for the batteries, which means you can go 1,200 miles.
So
between Phillips.
I don't know what a semi mileage is.
7 miles per gallon.
No, like
I think it's less
like
than
what
that.
what
on
is your
average.
average full tank distance?
Oh.
Is what I'm saying. Like, I know for most cars, it seems like their target number is roughly that 400-mile mark. I don't know what it is for semis, but 1,200 miles seems fine.
That's a lot.
Seems adequate for
Okay,
sure.
in my case, I have two 125-gallon tanks,
Okay.
120 gallons of drawable fuel. That makes sense. 240 gallons of usable fuel.
Right.
You can't fill a tank all the way up.
Okay.
Within reason.
Yep.
6 MPG. Might be a little optimistic,
Yeah,
but 1,400 miles.
Yeah, they said 7.
So that's right within the ballpark.
So the
That's
same
fine,
range, yeah.
give or take. They also have a plan to build these hydrogen stations that's built in with their rolling out of the truck. So there'll be places to put fuel in them.
Yes.
And not just a couple. All across the country.
Yeah,
Like
hundreds.
there's one in Des Moines if you look at the
Yeah,
map.
there was.
Yeah.
There's a few in central Iowa.
Which is awesome because
And-
if 1,200 miles, like with a day cab truck, you could probably do that twice a week with a 1,200-mile range. I mean, I don't know what kind of mileage those guys put on in a day, but I would think that 2,400 miles a week has got to be a lot of miles for a day cab.
Probably.
Driver.
Yeah. I think you're safe.
So, even if you have to drive a ways out of the way to do it, to get to the one station that's here in Des Moines, that's still reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Plus, most of your distribution and trucks are going to be coming out of Des Moines anyway.
Right.
It's going to be coming out of your hub, and in your hub, you may have a couple.
Yes.
I mean, from that map, it looks like there was a couple, maybe one in West Des Moines too.
I didn't zoom in too much. It just looks like basically they're in a lot of places like hubs.
Yeah.
Well, and then they've managed to team up with large logistics companies.
So Ryder, which everybody knows Ryder, I think is going to be doing. They are going to be certified for maintenance.
Yep.
Fitzgerald Glider is going to actually build the truck. They're going to build the first 5,000
They
trucks.
already build trucks, apparently.
I didn't realize a Glider was a cabless semi-truck. They build those. Yeah, so Fitzgerald Glider builds gliders, and those are cabless semi-trucks. So I guess if you're Freightliner or Peterbilt or something like that, you just build the cab.
That was how I understood it.
I don't know if they actually
I don't know
buy
if that's
them from
really
them.
how it works or not, but that's how I understood it.
So you can buy so they make trucks, so they're going to make these trucks, so that makes sense. And then the U.S. Express, it sounded like they were strongly considering adopting these as their fleet.
Wow.
Which is also a large company.
Yeah, I don't know how big they are, how many trucks that means, if what portion of that first 5,000 trucks that Fitzgerald's going to do, but I mean, interesting.
So, like, if you were, let's say, local knowledge, if you were a TMC truck, they've got, I drive by that place semi-regularly. They've got to have a couple hundred trucks in that yard at any given point in time. I think if you have a fleet that big, especially of mostly day trucks, out and back every day trucks, or every couple days even, you could have probably justified building one of those stations in your yard.
Well, the really crazy, yes, absolutely. And then the crazy thing is, unless I misunderstood this, the cost of the first 1,000,000 miles of hydrogen is built into the cost of the truck.
Right.
Free.
So if you buy a truck, you're guaranteed fuel for the first 1,000,000 miles of the truck.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And within a reasonable amount of time that you're going to be able to get hydrogen relatively anywhere within, like I said, within reason.
Yep.
So this to me is like super appealing. And if you can come to, and I think they did have in there an infographic or something, but if you could come to a company and say, okay, you could buy a Freightliner and this is what it's going to cost, and then your first 1,000,000 miles are going to cost you this much, or you can just buy this truck and it's cheaper.
Right.
And you can finance the whole thing. And you don't have to worry about fuel cost. Would you do that? Yeah.
No brainer.
Even as an owner-operator, even if I own my own truck and I'm contracting out loads in the trailer itself, if I don't have to, like when I was renting and stuff like that, I went out and I found an apartment where all of my utilities were included. Even if it was slightly more expensive every month, it's easier to budget.
Yeah.
Same system, same idea
Same
here.
concept.
If you own your own truck, and even if it costs you a little bit more money, knowing exactly how much money you need to make and not wondering if I'm going to need more or less this month for gas makes things a lot easier to budget.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of a hydrogen turbine.
Right.
Sounds sweet.
A jet engine.
Yeah, I
running
got
on
a jet engine
semi-truck.
truck. Yeah.
So
this is where Toyota needs to get involved, because if they want to expand their Myra, I didn't remember how to
Just
pronounce it.
start like, hey, we'll give you.
You want to get? Can we get a pump on one of?
We'll give you half.
What's this going to take?
I'll give you like $500 million if you just throw an extra pump in at all of these stations.
Yeah, if they're putting 364 pumps or stations, and they're starting this year on construction, hoping to open them next year. And if Toyota's like, hey, just one pump on each one, I mean, you could really
that changes
explode.
the game.
Explodes
changes
in
the
2
game.
years.
If I could go to the dealership and buy a hydrogen car, yes.
Right.
If it was, if I could go buy a hydrogen Stinger or something like that, yes.
Right.
Why not?
Right.
Because I think the outlook for hydrogen would be, looking really good, and I don't have to worry about range. Yes, sir. I'll have one of those.
And I think this company has kind of played their cards real close. I think they've done the R&D. I think they've done the research, the business plan. They've gotten everything behind the scenes done, and then they do the reveal with something that's fully capable already, without saying, okay, it's Tesla.
Let's say it. Fuck it, because that was where I was going next.
It's like the polar opposite of Tesla, where Tesla's like, we're going to build you this incredible vehicle,
Look, it doesn't burn out.
Maybe in 10 years. And we can't deliver. But then there's Nikola that has this whole plan, and it's already laid out, like beginning to end with investors, and like we know what investors they are, what fleets are going to take it on.
Name big players in that industry have already said, we support this. We'll build these. You already know our products. We're going to maintain these. You already know how we're doing it. If I was a trucker, if I owned a truck company, if I was a fleet manager, there's no question I would be looking into these right now.
Without
and I
a
sure
doubt.
as hell would look into these faster than Tesla. So
I agree.
Yeah, they're changing the game.
And I've said for a long time, much longer than we've done this podcast, if we as a society want to significantly change our carbon footprint or whatever you want to call it, let's focus on these things that probably make a lot more pollution than the average car does by itself to begin with. So,
Absolutely.
trucks, boats, big shit.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
So, boom.
Speaking of pollution, Mazda is bringing back the Rotary in 2019 as an
about this.
EV range
Great.
extender.
That's a great segue.
Let's take one of the most fuel inefficient vehicles that also was
Ever made.
that was also main reason they don't make it anymore is because it's a terrible polluter. And throw it in as a range extender for EVs. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Hey, did you guys know that we turned into the EV podcast?
Yeah, I
Based on our
noticed
news
that.
this week.
Well, so
I just want to call us
here's
out
the
before
problem.
our fans do.
This is news, though.
that's what
It-
news
it-
is right
it
now.
is.
What do you want me to do about it?
Nothing we can do about it
So
but
I
the-
still try to find the ones that are interesting.
that are relevant.
Yeah.
I love how they use this picture of this car that was supposed to be the
concept.
RX-9 that never existed and will never exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the European Vice President of Sales and Customer Service, it's a long business card, said there will be a Mazda electric vehicle available in 2019 and will have a rotary as a generator. And it seemed to me that this was an unequivocal statement. This
He
is
didn't
happening.
say, I think and we might even have it out by.
No, he said 2019, it's going to be a Mazda 3-size car or a crossover. It's probably going to be a crossover.
Let's be real
Without a
here.
doubt. Well, and then in a different article I was reading, they said that it's roughly the size of a shoebox,
Okay.
and you won't hear it on.
So this is realistically where I was going to go with this. It's probably going to be extremely small, and they've muffled it quite extensively where it just kind of sits there and whirs around at 10,000 RPM.
Sounds like a blower fan.
Yeah. Whoosh. And that's the only way they work, is at full tilt.
Yep.
Right.
Just,
And then it shuts off.
and then it shuts
It's
off.
on or off, producing power for the batteries.
Because that's when they were most reliable anyway.
Right. My
When they were being
Question.
the shit beat out of them.
My question would be, and maybe it doesn't matter on that small of a internal combustion motor, how are they handling the emissions? Because that was a problem on the other one, because they put catalytic converters on them, which I assume that they have to.
Catalytic converters.
Again, and when those got plugged, it caused reliability issues with the engine.
Oh, they're running at 10,000 RPM all the time. What's it matter?
Well, you could
Just
still,
beat the living piss out
yeah,
of it.
you could still clog the cats though. In theory, if the cats get clogged on the old one, it was a bad day for the motor.
Yeah.
It ruined the motor. So I'm
That's
curious how
kind of
they've resolved that problem. And then the fact that the other one chewed through coil packs all the time. I'm curious how they solved that on
Oh, really?
this
I
one.
didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Yep.
It's a Volkswagen thing.
Yeah, well, apparently those need new coil packs every 30,000 miles. Sounds like a lot. So hopefully they've addressed those issues, and then hopefully the intake hasn't been silenced or kinked in any way, because if they don't get enough air, that ruins the motor also. So there's a lot. If it doesn't, basically the whole thing with rotaries is flow. If there's good flow through, they're fine. If there's bad flow through, they get carbon buildup and it kills the apex seals and they die.
Great race cars, not so great.
Right. Race
commuter
car,
cars.
literally you can have as big of an intake as you want and no restriction on the exhaust.
Right.
Perfect.
do
You
this.
can rev the living nuts off of it. You can blow that. There's going to basically be no carbon because you're constantly revving it up. So I'm sure they've addressed that issue with the RPM issue because it's so small. They just spin the living shit out of it, so you're going to
Yeah.
carbon buildup is somewhat minimal, but if it's not getting flow through the motor, it causes problems as well. So I assume they worked on these problems.
Well, the other thing is that, so it's a range extender, which means
Yeah.
that this is probably a plug-in car.
Yes.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
probably have, let's say, a couple hundred miles of battery life. If you are a regular commuter and you're driving it to work and then driving it home, plugging it into your garage every day, that motor's just going to sit there quietly and never run anyway.
Yep.
Now it's Thanksgiving and I got to drive 4 hours to my in-laws.
Yep.
Well, the batteries aren't going to get me there, but that motor's going to fire up and get me the rest of the way there.
Yep.
And then I'm going to plug it in at my in-laws anyway, and it'll get me 3/4 of the way back home before that motor's got to fire up again.
Yep.
It's gonna. I'm sure their hope is that it rarely runs, and they can make it. Its form factor can be so much smaller
Yep.
than any other piston-driven engine.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yep.
That's why they chose this.
Yeah. No, I think it can make a lot of sense if they've solved some of those other engineering problems.
You remember? Shit's been a long time ago now. We talked about some inventing group that was making this 3-part rotary engine for DARPA,
Oh yeah.
like a military application, and they could have it. The one they made was like the size of a grapefruit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So this is probably that same idea. It's real small. Can be put in anywhere I need to put it. It'll be fine.
Mazda probably bought that patent.
What makes me sad.
It may have.
Well,
Yeah.
it was the opposite of the way the Wankel runs. Now it's still rotary, but it was the opposite, being that the piston was triangular, or the combustion chamber was
Yeah.
triangular.
I remember that now.
And the
piston thing.
piston
The rotor.
thing, the thing that rotors around,
The
was
Dorito
oval.
was oval.
Right. So, what makes me sad about the small size is that if it was say it was like very similar to a 13B, that'd be the greatest swap thing ever.
Just put a little tiny.
Itty bitty range extender in your car.
No, like take the electric motors and like the 13B sized rotary motor and put it in your FC
Oh yeah.
as a drift car.
And have an electric drift car.
Have it electrically driven with a rotary engine torque curve fill type thing, because rotary engines are known for their torque
Right.
and whatnot. It'd be kind of cool. It's too bad
don't
that
think
they're
we're gonna-
making it
yeah,
so tiny.
we're not gonna
and
get
it's
that.
probably going to make like 3 horsepower, because you don't need very much to charge a battery. It's
No.
not designed to drive the car,
No.
which is really the bum deal in this whole thing, because it'd be kind of sick.
It'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's what I'm surprised that no one's figured out yet, is hybrid systems and like swap performance applications.
Its time's coming. I'm surprised.
sure.
I'm actually surprised no one's taken the hybrid Tahoe setup and put it in a car.
Like with the LS in it.
Yeah, the LS, because they.
It's because there's
I don't know if many
they
people
made
know
like
that.
10 of them.
They had this really weird hybrid Tahoe for a while that had, I think it had the full 6.2, and then it had this like weird electric thing that attached behind it, electric motor, and then the
between
transmission.
motor and the tranny.
Yeah, because I looked into it one time because I was like, I wonder why nobody's done this, and I looked into it. The whole drivetrain thing's huge, but I'm surprised nobody's done it. There's not some way to like turn it up or do something stupid with it.
Yeah, it probably can't take much more than what the stock 6.2 makes, or something.
Maybe
like
not.
that.
I don't.
But even that, like in a car,
It'd be
like-
kinda funny.
Like we
You
think
could,
of
yeah.
it. Yeah, in a 2,100 pound, coupe.
It'd be kind of funny.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it would. It'd make an interesting street car.
Yeah.
And then you could tell people like, yeah, it's LS swapped, but it's a hybrid. And then people would be like, what? No, seriously.
There'd be a lot of conflicted feelings.
I know.
about
That's what I'm saying. It'd be a great hater car. Maybe I should do that with the Z28.
Yeah.
Interesting idea.
I bet they're cheap.
Yeah, because I don't think anybody wants anything
I
to do
bet
with
that
it.
at least that system is cheap.
I think it's all self-contained other than the batteries.
Yeah,
And you just need like a laptop battery. Like I'm not really planning on doing much with that battery. You know what I mean? I just need like one whole shot out of that
well,
battery.
you could
and
do
then-
like Nabil did with the 944, and just put a small bank of batteries in the trunk.
yeah.
Be fine.
I'm not trying to run off it though.
Right.
No.
It's just for the
It's torque
novelty.
fill.
Yeah. It's just for the novelty of it.
To do sick burnouts, yo.
Yeah, bro. All right, is that it?
That's all I got.
Rotaries and EVs. Kevin Harvick wants everyone to remember that racing is supposed to be fun. Robbie, God damn it, racing's supposed to be fun.
It's supposed to be fun.
It's supposed to be fun.
I love this guy now. Didn't really care about Kevin Harvick before. My new favorite NASCAR driver, because he gets it.
He does.
I think the funny thing is, and I think it's why it's such a story, is because this guy was a grade A asshole his entire career.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And people are like, that's everyone. Like if you read the comments or like read other articles, because I was kind of verifying it, reading through old stuff about him.
Right.
People fucking hated this guy.
Well,
for years. He was the worst person to deal with. No one wanted no one wanted to deal with him with his racing. Like I understand you take it very seriously. Like you're competitive. You don't want to compete or be friendly with the competitors. But he's now completely flipped in his old age. And he's like, where's the good old days where if my car broke, we all just came together and we all fixed it. Other teams came over, we swapped tools. And so I'm sure he's changed in his old age. Or maybe he's lonely at the top.
The other thing is
type stuff.
Just because he acted that way doesn't mean that's who he really was. It might have been part of his game. That might have been what he thought he needed to be, or the person he thought he needed to be.
That's what I'm saying. I think is he thinks when he was at say our age,
right,
and he was competing, and he thought that that's how it had to be. You are competitors. You are not friends.
Right.
This is very serious, and I think he's seeing it as an older man, seeing the young guys coming in that are in their 20s, their low 20s, and they all are like hating each other. There's no friendship. It's all competition all the time. And I think that's what he's kind of focusing on, going, hey, I was wrong then, you're wrong now.
Let's lighten up.
Let's be friends.
Let's not forget that we're going racing every day.
Well, yeah, he had a quote. Everybody has kind of forgotten exactly how much fun this is and how lucky we are to be able to walk into the garage on a weekly basis or sit in that car on a weekly basis and drive race cars around in circles for a living was the point of that.
So,
and he is right.
Yes.
That quote right there makes me really happy. When I listened to Danica Patrick on Joe Rogan, the way that she came off about racing was that to her it was just a job. She just went in every day. She put in 40 hours. She went home. She couldn't care less about the racing itself. And she didn't feel like she was lucky or she was special or the opportunity that she had was something that millions of people would kill for. She just looked at it as a job, just a way to make a paycheck.
Right.
And it almost sounded like she was annoyed by the whole thing.
Yeah, she seemed slightly resentful about her life.
And it angers me because there's so many people, most of my friends, myself included, that would kill for the opportunities that she had. And this guy feels that way about it. Like, let's not forget that what we're doing is one of the coolest things you can do for a living. When
you have dream job on the list, this is pretty high.
Race
on that
car
list.
driver, astronaut.
Well, when you're 3 years old, whether your parents like racing or not, you want to be a race car driver or an astronaut.
I still think astronauts should not be on
an
that list.
oceanographer. Wait, no.
You don't want to piss yourself and
no, you're in fucking prison for a year.
Eat fucking dehydrated ice cream and shit like that?
You're up in the middle of nowhere, literally, for a year with maybe
nobody.
2 or 3 other people.
With Jeff,
It's
and Jeff's
prison.
an asshole.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Jeff's a
Fuck
fucking
Jeff.
asshole.
Then the other guy's from a different country. He doesn't even speak our language, so it's really awkward.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm going off of was it Armageddon where they have the Russian guy?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
But anyways,
So, fighter pilot then? Does that make you feel
there
bad?
you go.
I don't know.
That's-
Fighter pilot's pretty terrible, too, bro.
That sounds exciting though.
That training's a bitch. I don't think you want to do that training to be
My
a fighter pilot.
brother-in-law's in
You
it
see
right
how
now.
reality
Is he?
kicks in, and
It's
this
rough.
reality
But
ruins
when
your
we
dream
were
jobs.
3,
It sounded great.
Yeah.
You want to go to space? Yeah, of course I want to go to space.
Not race car.
The race car was where it was
I want
at.
a race car.
Or cowboy, but I guess that wasn't really an option.
You can still be a rancher now.
you could move to Texas and be a cowboy.
You could be a rancher,
for
yeah.
sure.
We can get-
But little kids are like
can just-
cowboys,
Oh,
like cowboys and Indians.
Yeah.
Cap guns. And,
Old West.
yeah, spurs and
Well,
stuff.
you could start by getting
Giddy
the
up.
spurs and the hat and the
And the
Wranglers
truck.
and the truck.
in the
You get the mega
Longhorn.
cab Longhorn.
That's an
Oh.
expensive dream.
My last job, we did a lot of wireless internet to like rural places, and there was one that we did that was a Western store, and there's always hot chicks that worked there. I never was mad about having to go and fix their internet.
Cowgirls, man.
Was it?
For whatever reason, this is just an observation. Horses seem to draw a disproportionately large number of hot chicks.
Yes.
But horses suck.
Horses absolutely suck.
Horses.
No, they don't.
Oh,
Horses
for sure.
are 120% a deal breaker for me. I like horses. Well, it's nice to meet you. Seriously, I hate
You
horses.
seem like a nice girl, but
I seriously hate horses. They're dumb.
But-
they're stupid.
right. So they might be the only thing that's worse than cars.
That's a great way to burn money.
It's a great way to burn money, and I don't want to hear one person bitching about me not liking horses because I have experienced horses. I have been around them. Oh, if you get to know, fuck that. I've been around them. Okay,
My ex-girlfriend was like
I know
a
my
diehard
limitations.
horse person.
Yeah.
Had her face kicked in. Had like
That's
3
what I'm
facial
saying.
reconstructive surgeries.
Oofed up.
Oh no, the horses. It loves
their-
me.
it's
I
not
snuck up on
It
him.
kick your face in.
It kicked your face. It has a very small brain and a very large muscular hip. Just don't.
See, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But if I was like super rich and had a ranch out in the middle of nowhere and could have horses, I totally would.
No, absolutely not.
But I understand what you're saying.
I would probably
some cows.
ride a horse.
Them too.
I'd probably ride a horse. I don't need to own one though.
I don't even want to ride one. I don't want to be near it. I don't need that.
It's more
I
expensive
mean, like
than a
even
race
as
car.
like a one-time date deal. Like if that's what you had to do.
The broken down old pony that's been ridden.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
15
Yeah,
years.
absolutely.
Okay.
Dude, I just said I had a girlfriend that did horse things.
Well, I don't know if you rode it.
Die-hard horse
You
things.
could have just hung out. I don't know.
I told her the only way she was ever going to get me to ride a horse. Well, I rode with her on the horse.
Oh, not solo?
No, I told her the only way that I was going to ride a horse solo is if she got me a Shetland pony. Apparently, they're real shitholes,
Yeah, like
but they're also stupid cheap, and I almost lost that bet.
that would have been
Because
awesome.
you can get a Shetland pony for like $200, and it was absolutely worth it in her mind.
Oh man,
but she knew that they're real pieces of
Real
shit.
assholes.
like dealing with donkeys.
Yeah, so she didn't do it. But
I like riding a horse. Man, it's fun.
nah,
But again, I don't own one. I've just been like, hey, can I come to your farm and ride your horse? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, so you're catching horses on like the back end.
The fun
after they've
side.
been
I
broken.
get it. I get it.
yeah, it's like borrowing somebody's sports car for the afternoon.
I understand.
Yeah,
You were very right in everything you were saying.
right.
So NASCAR, about that.
You have a dream job, Kevin.
Kevin gets
But
it.
Kevin
Kevin's
gets it.
all right.
Go, Kevin.
It may have taken him 2 decades to get there, but Kevin's on
better
board.
late than never.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's good to be an advocate.
You can try to
for
be a
it.
mentor now.
Yeah, absolutely you can. That's why I don't like. Sometimes I don't like racing, so I don't.
Well, we talked about
Yeah.
last week too. Like, I think the reason drifting seems to have more of a camaraderie is because there's no winner. We're all just having fun.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Locally.
like, yeah,
On a local
yeah,
level.
I'm speaking.
There's
locally.
always somebody who's even at a local autocross. There's always somebody who takes it way too fucking seriously.
Yes. Yeah, and
We're all racing for a $10 trophy here. Calm down.
there's trophies.
I got a trophy.
Iowa
once.
region has trophies.
Heck yeah,
DMVR has
sweet.
trophies.
Man, that's
Oh,
great.
I
do
got
they?
first place in prepared once.
Yes.
I was the only person in the class.
Well, maybe next year you could see my XP trophy. Boom!
What now, Booney?
Take that,
I don't know.
booty!
I heard Booney's pretty fast.
I'm
Just
sure
saying.
it is. Oh, I know how to spin tires. I can't.
And
do
if Randy
autocross.
decides to be in that class, you're going to be in trouble.
Oh yeah, there's no way. But I'm totally gonna win because I'm competitive.
Because you're going to show up to every single autocross this year.
I won't miss a sing. No, I'm
He's going to
totally-
miss the first one.
I think here's
I want to make it, but
here's
whether
the
it's not
secret to
looking
beating
good.
Randy. Volunteer to be the starter, and when he's not paying attention,
Kick through the light.
no switch. Switch his magnets to your numbers.
Oh,
He'll just be
genius.
out there running, and you'll be getting those mad times.
I
Smart.
like my idea of kicking through the light.
Kick
Start
his-
the light.
kick his
Start
lights.
the
That's
light.
better.
Like
Shit.
roll something through the light. Oh, yeah. You can go. Sorry.
Or
No, what?
find like a 5-year-old to run through the finish beam
Yep.
for you.
Oh, genius.
Oh,
just do
that's
it, do
a good
it.
idea.
Yeah, do it while I'm like,
Or just get
5
somebody
seconds
yeah.
away.
Yeah. So it's reasonable, but not beatable.
Yeah.
I was probably getting
Interesting.
FTD
Interesting
and
idea.
packed in a wildly unprepared car.
Over
This is the first year. This is the first year he's done this. This is crazy.
This kid is crazy.
Did I only make it to one autocross last year? The
Dude,
rest,
we didn't-
the rest
we
was
Did you
do-
make it to any
didn't
autocrosses
do-
last year?
Yeah, last year I did.
Oh, that's right, you
'cause I
did.
did one in the. I have
you
done
did
one
Iowa
auto.
Event Center
Yeah,
last
with
year.
one with the V8, and all I did was spin tires.
Right.
Then I did drifting. Then we did PDXs and stuff.
We
so,
literally did jack shit last year.
yeah, we did a
Last
lot
year
of
Two
was
drift
travel.
events and 2 autocrosses.
We didn't even really do that much traveling.
We had a bad year of stuff being broken.
I feel like we did a lot of shit last year,
We
but
really
like
did,
no driving.
Yeah, we broke a lot of stuff. You were working on your build. I was working on my
My
build.
build was done.
At the beginning of the year, it was.
Yeah.
What the fuck were you?
Remember, I
doing?
did a burnout in front of your house.
What the fuck were
in
you
like
doing?
March.
What were you doing?
Stuff for the podcast. We were always doing shit.
Buying a house, and
Oh,
Yeah.
That wasn't until late in the year, though.
we really didn't. We did not do as much last year as we did the first year, driving or not.
we didn't do as much driving. I know we didn't.
We didn't do as many events either. We did a lot more cars and coffees and stuff like that the first year than we did
Without a
last year.
doubt.
Oh yeah, that local stuff. Yeah, I just got burned out on autocross and decided to start working on stuff
Yeah.
and trying to get. Well, I guess
We'll see how
my
this
car,
year
but
goes.
This year should be good. I should be busy as shit.
It's crazy. It's crazy
My
out
kid's
there,
old
folks.
enough that I can actually go and do things now.
Yeah.
I can take him with
Can you
me.
come hang out?
That'll be fun.
Yeah. I can take him and not take mommy. We can just go and do stuff. And then
Oh, I see.
if I have him and she gets to spend time by herself, she's not going to be bugging me to come home.
Nice.
See how that works?
Yeah.
Good.
Dad
I won't be
and
able to
Logan are
race
going to be.
or anything like that. But like I can go to like cars and coffees and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
and it'll be fun. So
It's more social stuff. That's good. Nothing wrong with that.
like this year, even if I don't have a car running, I want to go to more of our racing events and stuff like that. Even if I'm just hanging out, talking to people, watching, just being there. I just want to do more things with my car guy friends. Last year I didn't do enough of it.
It's true.
So
Yeah.
my
We're in a
goal.
better position this year.
I want racing to be more fun, just like Kevin.
Yeah,
Harvick.
that's the whole point, is that everybody should not take stuff so freaking seriously.
Right.
You should go on your local SCCA page and troll people.
Yeah.
Nerds.
Take that, nerds. Coming for you.
Set a good example. Make fun of people online.
Yeah. But not
In
like
a nice way.
Yeah,
not be a dick about it.
Yeah, don't be a bully, but,
Right.
give people some shit. And then when you get there, be friends and not take everything so damn seriously.
I don't care where I
You're in a
finish.
parking lot, relax.
Yeah, it's all good.
Even if you're not.
Yeah, even if you're on a racetrack.
Even
you
if,
should
even
chill
if
out.
you are like racing, still just at the end of the
Everybody
day,
relax.
this is for a
It's not,
jacket.
it's
at
not
best.
fucking brain surgery. Let's be real here. That, something goes wrong, you
Please-
get pissed
Pretty,
about
pretty
it.
serious.
Please
Yeah.
take that seriously.
Yeah.
If you're a brain surgeon,
surgery, be focused when
first
you do
stop
that.
listening to this because we're making you a worse brain surgeon.
This is the worst
Secondly,
time you could possibly.
take
This
it
is the
more
worst thing you
serious.
could listen to in the
Operating room.
operating room.
I don't care where you are. I'm for sure we are bringing IQs down, and he needs all he can get.
That's fair.
Don't listen to us if you're a brain surgeon.
Yeah.
1010s podcast everywhere you can find us. Instagram, Facebook. Go follow us on Instagram. We're doing more stuff on
Lots
there.
of
How about that? Not that you shouldn't follow us on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, go to the group.
Facebook's killing us
Like
right
our
now.
page. If you want to see more of what we're doing day to day, I would be on the group or Instagram. How about that? Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Definitely like the page because we appreciate that. It makes our numbers look good, but that stuff's going to get buried. So go to the group, hang out, talk to people. If you're in the group and you haven't said anything, please introduce yourself with your car or what dumb things you're doing. And check out Instagram.
YouTube. Check out
YouTube. Yes, YouTube,
Lots
please,
of
of
stuff
course.
on
That's
YouTube.
extra content.
Yes. Bonus.
What's the best way to describe that?
Extra content.
Extra bonus content
But it's
of
it's
builds
like
and
it's
whatnot.
yeah. It's stuff that's going on that we don't get to talk about on a weekly basis.
It's our broings on.
By ourselves.
Yeah, we're broing alone.
We don't.
yeah.
we don't work on our cars together.
It's
at
not
all.
a bro down. No. So you can see all that stuff. You can see some things that Robbie's installed on his car. You can see how things are going with my roll cage. You can see
Whatever
different things.
happens up. Yeah.
yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know what we're gonna do after all this stuff.
No.
Probably some stuff about events
A lot more event coverage, I would
where
imagine.
we're out there racing, stuff like that. But winter's been good because you can do little
We're just gonna
build
dump,
vlogs.
We'll
and
just dump
things.
footage on there, man. If we go racing, we've got footage. We'll dump it on there.
Yeah.
Just be aware.
I
Subscribe.
am very hopeful that there'll be a 2.2 liter S10 motor in my possession soon.
Yeah,
Nice.
boy. Yeah, boy.
And I
you
am
gonna
not
do it?
Robbie.
You gonna do it?
I am not Robbie. I'm not going to do it by myself.
Aw.
I am going to probably have to recruit help for it. So
We
maybe
can
we
help.
can do that.
I would be glad to come help on a Saturday for sure.
Yeah. Unless it's racing.
I need help getting the one that's in there out. I mean, I can unhook all the shit,
Yeah, no problem.
but I'm not going to try and take it out by myself. And
That's
I'm sure
not
as
hard,
hell
man.
I'm not going to put it back.
So,
in by
are you
myself.
getting a just a used one?
I'm just going to
I
buy a
assume?
junkyard motor and
Yeah.
throw it back in the truck.
What's that cost? Like,
Like literally $200.
okay, that's what I figured.
yeah. It's all
And
good.
then,
Haven't talked
Yep.
about it at all with you guys, let alone on the show, but the Focus is 100% dead.
oh, is it?
gone?
Like, I borrowed Robbie's compression tester. It doesn't even move the needle.
How is that possible?
You were, just stopped running.
I was driving down the road and it died. Just,
Does not make sense.
How is that
and
possible?
it won't start. And it still spins everything.
Yeah.
Because, like, I pulled the oil cap and I can see the cam spinning, and I had a spark plug out and the piston moves up and down, but it doesn't even move the compression gauge
On any cylinder.
on any cylinder.
How is
How
that
in the
possible?
fuck does that
I
happen?
think it's an interference motor, and I think it like
interfered.
super skipped timing.
Because we were like when you borrowed that tool. I'm like, I was like, I hope he's wasting his time with this.
Yeah, so was I.
I was just like,
but I
no
checked
way.
everything else. Had fuel, had spark.
Wow.
Turns over. Won't
I would have
start.
bet money that there was not a compression problem. I would have bet large
Doesn't make
sums
any
of money.
compression at all. Like makes zero.
Are we going to take it
compression.
apart? Can we take it apart?
have
No,
to.
I am going to put it on Craigslist for $250 and tell someone to get it the fuck out of my driveway.
Get it
I
out of
never
my
want
life.
to see it again.
Jeez. That's
so
crazy.
I'm
weird.
gonna either fix the S10 and Katie's gonna take my Blazer,
Yeah.
or I have a lead on a real cheap beater car that I'm just going to drive to work for a while and
Yeah.
then take a little more time to do the S10 right. If I don't end up buying that beater car, then the truck's going to my dad's house and we're just going to swap the motor and I'm going to be done with it. Because I
Just sell it.
unfortunately, as much as I would love to have more content for everybody,
Having a running vehicle is more
I
important.
need 2 running vehicles in my life and right now
Yeah.
I don't have that.
No, I get that.
So,
Plus, it's probably best just to get rid of the.
but my dad has a
Pickup.
lead on a $300 car that's perfectly good, just doesn't have an AC.
you don't care.
Who cares about
No,
that?
it's a luxury, isn't it, Rob?
Yeah, you don't need that crap.
If that
What are
if
you?
that
What are you, a
happens-
rich person? You don't
Right,
need AC.
exactly. If that happens, I will happily drive that car back and forth to work, and then I think we'll probably do something with the S10,
Cool.
and then it'll be a secondary car, or I'll sell the other one, or I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But
That's Feature Adams
Right.
conundrum.
yeah, unfortunately, I don't. Without
need 2
selling,
race cars.
Without selling the Omni, I can't justify
the cost.
doing anything with the S10, and if I'm going to turn the truck into a race truck, I don't want to take the time to put that motor back into it because that's not the motor I would want in it anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
It makes way more sense just to make it disappear. To be completely honest,
The
You know?
truck?
Yeah, make it run.
Oh, no,
sell
I'm
it.
not selling it.
Oh, you're not gonna sell it.
No,
Just
I'll keep it.
Drive it.
Oh, okay.
If I end up
I thought you meant if you got the car, you would consider
No,
selling the
no,
truck.
No, sell the car.
either way, long-term goal is to turn that into my race vehicle.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% ready to sell the Omni, mostly because even if I did sell the Omni, I still don't have a budget to build a race car.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep with the one I have. I'll either just have the S10 and drive it when I feel like driving it and take it to cars and coffees and stuff like that, or I'll make it my daily and sell this other vehicle, or maybe I'll keep that other vehicle and sell the Blazer. There's lots of options. I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Sure.
So
Okay.
we'll see where it goes.
Something to figure out.
Maybe you can look forward to that on the YouTube channel.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
We'll get that swapped done. That'd be pretty sick.
That'd be awesome.
This time I'm just going to cut the AC out of that truck and not bother with it because that was 100% the biggest pain in the ass of putting that motor in because I couldn't take the radiator and stuff out. Or no, I could take the radiator out. I couldn't take the front grill off. And so the motor had to come in at a really big angle. And that was one of the hardest motors I've ever put in anything ever.
For a little 2.2.
Right. So if I could take the front grill off, because that's a body on frame vehicle. You should just take
Yeah.
the whole damn thing
Yeah,
off.
slide it in.
But I couldn't do that without cutting the the AC lines. I didn't want to do that.
Nope.
This time, I don't care. Whether I'm fixing it to enjoy it or fixing it to daily it, either way, that AC is coming out. I'm not dealing with it
Fair enough.
because it still has to be recharged, and that's annoyingly expensive.
Oh, it's empty?
Well,
now?
because I still have to pull the lines off the compressor,
Oh, sure. Yeah, you're going to have to
so I
empty
still
it.
have to have it recharged.
Yep. Cut it out.
But I can't cut all those hoses because that's
'Cause you
what
wanna
was
reconnect it, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to buy all those hoses again.
Forget
this
it.
time I'm not doing any of that.
Forget
shit.
it.
Just cut
They
it
make an
all.
AC delete kit. You could throw that compressor away,
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
too. Yep. Save some weight.
Those trucks came without an AC, so you just get that belt.
Perfect.
Oh, from the factory.
That's easy.
That was AC was an option. Is what you're saying.
AC
so you
is
could go
an
buy
option
that
in
belt.
there. So you just buy the shorter belt and move
Gotcha.
off life.
Perfect.
There is a with and a without AC routing on the sticker on the
So you're good to go.
radiator shroud. So I don't even have
The
to
instructions
think
are there for you.
Right, exactly.
I think that's it.
all I got.
1010podcast.com. Check out the store, all the stuff we have on there. And like I said, Instagram, group, YouTube, subscriptions are always,
Super awesome.
yes, we appreciate them very much. Questions have been good on the YouTube channel, which we're appreciative of that.
Robbie's got all kinds of fans
We're
on
not,
the YouTube channel.
yeah.
Trying.
Robbie's doing like a Mighty Car Mods thing all of a sudden on YouTube and didn't even notice he was doing it. So if you're into
I wanna
that sort
do
of
more
things,
that stuff.
he's doing it.
I want to do as a group. That's what sucks.
We might
I
do it
hate
on the
that-
S10.
I
Who
hate
knows?
that Robbie lives an hour away from me, and where you work on your vehicle is an hour and a half away
Yeah,
from me.
it's a
and
long ways away.
It's just a pain in the ass.
Yep.
So
It's reality.
it's not that we don't like each other; it's that we live too far apart.
If anybody
to
would
be
like
Super
easy.
inconvenient to help each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So anyway, catch you guys next week.